come on, let's do it. Nothing better than kicking it with Auntie Leah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Auntie Leah is in the house. Yeah, 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 yeah. We are kicking it with Auntie Leah. Yeah, let's get it, let's do it. Come on in. Come on in now. So Auntie Leah can do a thing. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to Kicking It with Auntie Leah. I'm just stopping in to let you know that the video is not uploaded, so it's still at about, I don't know, 73%. So most likely we may or may not be able to go live tonight, and I deeply apologize for that. I've been trying to download it for a while now. I know we don't have a lot of people in here anyway, so hey, Patricia Blair, the video's not ready. I can play other videos until the video is ready if you guys like. Can you guys hear me? Please put a 1 in the chat if you hear me. Put a 2 in the chat if you cannot hear me. Thank you, Patricia Blair. It's just been a very challenging week for me. I don't understand what's going on. In about 8 to 10 hours, I'll be up driving to Florida to get my kids to their football tournament as well. So that's pretty stressful. But I'm trying to, get you guys content. I don't know where Jay Mizak is. Can you please pray for him? He was working on the Heavy D video and it's just not working out for him. So I ask that you please pray for him, that whatever that he's going through, that he'll overcome it, right? Because the last thing I want to happen is for him to get so discouraged that he wants to give up. Because I never give up. I never give up. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and just play the video I made about Darren Seals' testimony for now. I'm waiting on the other video to upload. And again, guys, I apologize that it hasn't uploaded. I really do. It's on its way. It sucks. It sucks really bad. But I don't know. Let's just keep going. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play this one for now. We can learn about his testimony. Uh-oh. You can't see it, huh? Let me go to the actual video.
Came from work.
Let's back this up.
August 3rd, 2013. It's crazy how time flies. Them 2 years feel like a whole lifetime since I got shot up, you know? I never shared this picture with nobody, mostly because I didn't ever want nobody to see me down and in pain. But now I embrace it because it made me a better man than I've ever been. On August 3rd, 2013, I was at a cousin's house. I had just came from work not too long before, and as I was outside waiting on a ride to pick me up, then out of nowhere, somebody in black that I'd never seen got up on me and hit me up. The first shot went through the side of my stomach. I was shocked, and the impact sent me backwards. After that, everything moved in slow motion. I know the bullets was coming fast, but it felt like they was literally in slow motion. Everything around me stopped moving. At first, I thought I was dead, because it all went blank after that first shot. But then, as I heard all the other ones coming, I snapped into defense mode. I blocked 3 bullets heading towards my face, 2 with the left hand, 1 with the right. Then, as I fell, 2 more bullets ripped through my shoes, 1 getting the side of my foot, the other going through my 2 small toes. I was so numb at the moment, I couldn't feel the pain. I just laid there calmly so the bullets wouldn't travel. The first thing I thought about was the most important person in the world to me, and that's my baby brother Byron. What would he do without me? How would he feel if I die right now? How's he gonna take it? All that shit was running through my head. Then I snapped out of it, and a voice in my head said, "You gonna make it through this. You gonna be okay." Then I looked at my body, saw more blood than I ever seen in my life. I started feeling weak after that, so I knew I had to do something or I would bleed out right there. I had been shot once before, but never nothing like this, so I didn't know if I was paralyzed or what. I moved my legs a little bit to make sure I could move. Once I saw they was good, I crawled back into the house. My cousin was laid out drunk, so I had to crawl past his drunk ass and head to the back door for help. Once I got out the back, my cousin Lil Tony baby mama ran up crying cause she thought I was him. After she peeped it was me, she helped me in the house and called the police. I took off my shirt and tied it around my waist to stop the bleeding, as the police took like 30 minutes to get there. Then had the nerve to treat me like I did the crime once they got there. After telling them a million times I didn't know who shot me or why. I just want to get to the hospital. They got mad and said they didn't give a fuck if I died. Once the ambulance came, I went to the hospital. I was there for close to 2 weeks and had 2 surgeries. I had visitors, but nobody really rode it out with me the whole way besides my best friend slash sister, Portia Ray Bryant. Love her for life for that. So, it taught me to be mentally and emotionally self-dependent. It took 6 months for me to get back to normal. So while I was down, I just read and watched film, trying to learn all the knowledge I could. I knew if I survived all of that, it was because I had a special purpose in this world. So I had to get ready for whatever that was. When you go through something like this, it'll change you forever. Luckily for me, it changed me for the better. It made me fearless. I know a lot of people say that, but I mean, it literally made me fearless. Once you don't fear death anymore, nothing else even comes close to scaring you. But I decided instead of crashing out and becoming a killer, I would use it for the better, to stand up and fight for others, to be bold enough to say what most are afraid to say, to dare to try to become something in this world, instead of being a typical nigga doing typical nigga shit. I can't make a fist with my left hand ever again, so my days of fighting and boxing are over. But now I fight with my mind, which is a much stronger weapon than my hands ever was. August 3rd is a day I'll never forget, not only because of the pain I went through and still go through today, but also because of the man it made me become, which is focused, motivated, and fearless. I don't know what the future holds, but I know greatness lies ahead of me. Because if it wasn't, August 3rd, 2013 would have been my last day. Hashtag my story I never told.
Yeah. story I never told. 2 years gone, but it feel like a lifetime. First I work cause in out, wrong time. Men in black walked up, never seen this face. First shot in my stomach, world frozen place. Everything so like death, hit pause. Bullets kept flying in my heart, still tall. Black through my hand, left, right. Laying in the dirt and refuse that night. Shoes ripped open, toes grazed by heat. Blood on the ground, my soul in retreat. Thought about when I love my pride. This face in my mind, can my heart beat alive? Knew if I died, it would tear me apart. So I breathe through the pain, fall hard with my heart. Look at my body, blood pouring like rain. Know how to move, drowning in pain. Crawl through the hall like a soldier reborn. Pat my drunk cousin laid out on the floor. Out the back door, screens cut through there. Tie my shirt tight just to keep life there. Cops so late, treated me like dirt. Said they ain't care if I lived or hurt. But God had a plan and a fire to spawn. Feeling my soul and it never came back. 2 weeks in the hospital, 2 surgeries deep. Push stay silent while I fought in my sleep. 6 months healing, body weak, but mind strong. Read every book and learn right from wrong. Couldn't make a fist with my left no more. So I fight with my mind, it's a deadly war. I ain't choose vengeance, I ain't pick up no gun. I chose a revolution, I chose to become. Chosen by purpose, chosen by pain. Chosen to rise and break these chains. They'll try twice, but it never took hold. This is the story I never told. This is the story I never told.
This is the story I never told. I rose out the smoke, I ran through the flames. August 3rd, put respect on my name. Bullets came fast, but they moved too slow. They ain't break my spirit, they ain't take my soul. Fear died in me, now the truth unfolds. This is the story I never told. This is the story I never told.
Hands up, don't shoot, we still here, still true. From Ferguson to heaven, through the fire don't die. Move, hands up, don't shoot. Every day, still prove. From Daniel to Mike to George, the fire don't die. Yeah, it moves. They said I was too real for TV, too street for policy. But I bled for a city that refused apology. Tore the mask off justice, found monopoly. Black death on repeat, no equality. I seen the mamas praying bodies on concrete. Dreams drowning under police deceit. We shot at no peace, they labeled it hate. But it protest born from the graves they create. They took our pain, turned it into merch. Traded our tears for a corporate church. I ain't marched for a mansion, a purse. I marched for Mike, for Diane's rebirth. From the block to the booth, my truth don't fold. I died standing tall, my story told. Ain't no foundation built on gold that can buy back souls. The streets still hold. Don't shoot, we still rise, still proof. From Ferguson to heaven, rule. The fire don't die, it moves. Don't shoot, no, we still fight, still true. Yeah, say they names in every move. The fire don't die, yeah. They branded the struggle, trademarked the tears. Raised 90 million on our fears. They love the people, then disappear. While the mothers wept and the truth got smeared. Be the ones they framed in pain. While they took the stage and fame. You can't monetize the chains when you never felt the strain. Mike Brown, Eric Garner, Sandra Bland. Every life we lost, they don't understand. Danye Jones, they left you hanging, man. While the headlines faded, the streets still stand. I ain't here for a brand of applause. I'm the echo of a cause. I'm the goat that never paused, still fighting unjust laws. Hands up, don't shoot, say it louder. Absolute, we the flame. They can't mute, the fire don't die. Hands up, don't shoot, truth bleed. Through the loop, justice ain't cute. The fire don't die. From Nipsey and Crenshaw to Pac and the pen. From Ferguson streets to the pain within. They try to silence us again and again. But every martyr reborn when we pick up the pen. You could kill the flesh, but not the flame. You can steal the name, but not the aim. The hustle eternal, the spirit the same. Revolution ain't a moment, game. I walk with ghosts of the fallen brave. With mothers who refuse the grave. You can burn the car, can't burn the wave. Every bullet shot bursts another save. I seen love
The fire don't die. Every cop in this city know who I am, bro. They trying to scare me into not speaking because they don't want a motherfucker to tell the truth. Because it ain't the fact that when I'm not the only one saying this shit, but people actually listen when I say it. And they scared of that because they want niggas to be in the hood killing each other on that bullshit. Listen, when I was selling dope in the hood, you saw I sold dope all them fucking years. They ain't never did that to me. So many. I'm gonna send this motherfucker here.
Okay. All right, guys. That's basically all that we have for now. The video that I've been working on. Oh my God, I can't believe it. It's uploaded, but it says it's still processing. So YouTube has to go through this whole process system prior to them being able to allow me to play the video. So sad. We got Set in the West in the house. Let's go ahead and hear from Set while we're working on the video to process. What to do, bro?
What's going on? So there's another video you guys
It
got going?
is. It
Okay.
is. It has 5 minutes left to finish the process.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, so far is good.
Thank you. That was him telling his testimony about when he got shot the first time.
Right.
He got shot 7 times and he survived. And that's what made him change his life. So that was what that video was about. But we have the real true documentary of uploading. It's taking about 4 or 5 minutes to process before I can play it.
Okay. And what year did he get shot? I didn't even know he got shot the first time. I just know about the September
He got
2016 situation.
okay, so I believe he got shot in 2014 or 13.
Okay.
Let me double check. Go ahead. I'm gonna look it
Yeah,
up
no, no.
while you.
I just remember the situation about him and the thing in 2016. The funny thing is I remember when all that was going on in
Mhm.
2014. That's when I was doing,
Mhm.
I mean, I've been doing my podcast for a minute, and then I was working with an artist. My nephew introduced me to this one artist. He
Mhm.
was from St. Louis. He came to
Okay.
LA, and then I connected with him. And I think the irony is I was working with him, and then the week that Mike Brown got, unalived,
Mhm.
uh, I think he came on my pod once, and then he revealed, like, oh, that was my cousin. Mike Brown was his cousin. So he was
Wow.
he was telling me about what happened. I was, oh man, that's messed up. And then I started getting wind of all the real people out there, really, activists making moves or whatever. And then I remember it
Mhm.
was him. It was a bunch of people. It was him. And it
Mhm.
was a bunch of other activists though that were like really out there doing stuff. And I know they were going hard on D. Ray McKesson and all them
Mm.
Netta and all them fake activists. And I used to go hard on them on Twitter too. I used to clown them, but Darren Seals was one of them that was really out there
Mhm.
uh, putting in work. And you also it's crazy because, and I don't want to jump ahead,
No, go
but
ahead.
I want to say that people got to really pay attention to what was really going on, because they were the ones really doing really doing work. Like the Darren McKesson, the guy with the blue vest, he was
Hmm.
fake. We used to clown him. I don't know what happened to him, but they were really trying to
Right.
like get the grassroots, which was Darren and Edward and all those
Hmm.
other, because there were 5 other people that
Wow.
mysteriously died besides
Yeah.
Darren, but they were real activists out there, and all like
Hmm.
Darren, the situation with him being in that car in the car, and then the other 4, it's crazy, but I'm trying to basically
Hmm.
say I know like 2 months before the whole situation with Darren, he got stopped by the police, and
Yep.
that was on because he was under FBI surveillance,
Right. Right. Yep.
and yeah, they had like a whole dossier. They had a page like 900 pages,
900 pages. Yep.
but they redacted most of it, like 800 of it, 860 of it, only 40 of it, 45 pages of it were able to be read, but they basically
Hmm.
redacted majority of the investigation or whatever that was going on
Right.
with him. But yeah, it is a whole lot of funny stuff that went on then. And I thought at the time, because I know revolutionaries and I know people, I used to sit and talk with old ex-Panthers and, just getting
Mm.
stories from them. And it was somewhat similar to what was going on, but
Hmm.
I'm like, it's a new age. It's 2014. These kids shouldn't have to, if they want to say something about um, police,
Right.
um, unalivements, and M words. They have the right to call out racist cops. I don't mind police, but racist cops is the issue. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
Even the
Right.
FBI said that you had a lot of one of their last reports were talking about how a lot of white supremacists have infiltrated many police departments.
I agree.
So
Yep.
it's a reason why we
Yep.
were getting all this crap, um,
Hmm.
you know, during those times. But yeah, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. I want people to know, and I'm glad you're speaking on it. But there's
Hmm.
5 other brothers
It
who,
is.
who ended
Hmm.
up unalived.
So it was. First of all, he got shot August 3rd, 2013. That was the first attempt on his life. He reminds
Okay,
me so much of Tupac Shakur.
Tupac. Yep,
Following that, there was DeAndre Joshua. He was found shot, pop out in the head, burning the car, just like Darren Seals.
just like
And
Darren. Yep.
then,
Hmm.
hmm after Joshua, DeAndre Joshua came Darren Seals, and then after Darren Seals, it was Edward Crawford. Now, Edward Crawford is the one that was in that iconic photo where he was throwing the
Throwing the tear gas
yeah,
back at the. Yep.
yeah,
Hmm.
back at the police, right? Then after Edward Crawford, it was Danye Jones. That's a young man that we spoke about prior to
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
one,
Yep.
where he was found hung in his backyard. So it was
Yep.
Danye Jones. And then after that, it was Bassam Masari. He was a Middle Eastern life
Yeah. Hmm.
he was a Middle Eastern activist that wasn't even from America, who joined the struggle or the fight, and he was found on the bus overdosed by, what's that very strong painkiller that
Yeah.
people are,
Yeah.
fentanyl.
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl. Right.
Yeah.
He ain't never took fentanyl before, apparently, but he was found overdosed on the bus
Hmm.
from fentanyl. And then after that, it was Marshawn McCurl II. Now he powed himself on the state steps in front of the courthouse because he was tired of being threatened. He was tired of being stalked, and he was tired of all the death. He just took himself out. He was 20 years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Marshawn McCurl II. So all of these young men that died or passed away or whatever under these suspicious circumstances due to the Ferguson riots and due to the infiltration of the KKK, the police brutality. Black Lives Matter, who are a bunch of freaking liars who came in, and just like Darren Seals said, they came and harvested their energy. They stole their energy from the movement, which
Yeah.
killed the movement, and everything focused everything started to focus on Black Lives Matter, which were these three women, and of course D. Ray McKesson, that are all a part of the letter community. Now, I don't have nothing against the letter community. Please don't get me wrong. But we all know that the letter community has some nefarious leaders. They infiltrated what? The hip hop community. Am I right? Yes,
Oh
they
yeah,
did.
uh-huh.
So they did the same technique with Ferguson. They came in, they took over, and them with the Democrats started to mislead us, basically. Control the
Yeah.
narrative, control the media. Lies based on lies, based on, you even called out Obama, which back then I didn't see it. But now I see it. And then Obama sent in who? Eric Holder, who
Mm-hmm.
came, quote
Mm-hmm.
unquote, as a black man to Ferguson, did his deep investigation and basically covered up everything and switched the narrative. Switched the
Yep.
narrative. So in my
Yep.
opinion, it was a political tactic. It was something that was put in place. Why Ferguson, I don't know. And up way up in the hierarchy in the agenda, because the election was about to take place between Barack Obama, who black people lost faith in because he didn't do shit for us. And then
Right.
Trump was coming in. It was about to start the election. So this all, to me, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure, I'm not an expert, was a deflection. People died because of a political deflection. And that's my
Yeah.
opinion. I'm sorry to talk your ear off, but what you got to say about that? This is how I feel.
No, what are you talking about? This it's all good. It's your platform, and you say what you want to say, how you feel. You get what I'm saying? I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
I'll say this about the BLM side of it as well. First off, shout out to the real BLM, the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. That's one of my
Mm-hmm.
people's, Dr. Melina Abdullah. She co-founded that, and
Mm-hmm.
this has nothing to do with the other BLM, because I tell you, I was hell on the fake BLM that, really, I'll say it like this: Darren and all them other cats that were doing what they were doing in Ferguson, that was the real BLM, but they didn't have a name. They didn't call themselves that. You get what I'm saying?
Right. They was hands up, don't shoot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yep.
And you had the McKesson guy with the blue vest, and the other girl, the Netta chick. Like, I used to go ham on them on Twitter and clown them like y'all are not the real revolutionaries that y'all think y'all are.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a whole nother conversation. I recognized Darren and all, and that's because I knew who the real ones was, the ones doing it. They put the blue vest guy and the other chicks out there just as a, like you say, just I would say, you got grassroots and you got astroturf. But
Mm-hmm.
BLM, like well, like I said, uh, uh, Dr. Melina Abdullah, I was producing for them over at KBLA,
Mm-hmm.
and they're the real deal. Yeah, like I said, I don't agree with everything, just like how you said about the alphabet stuff and all that, but it is what it is.
Right.
But overall, yeah, when it comes to like capitalizing off of Black death,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, I see where they were coming from when it came to just like why they
Mm-hmm.
were against, and like I said, what the Black Lives Matter Global Network, that's different
Mm-hmm.
from the BLM, because the Black Lives Matter Global Network is actually suing the fake BLM.
Right.
It's weird. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But overall,
All of it.
damn a whole, the name. Like I said, I always recognize the ones who were there from the jump, and that go, that's Darren, and rest in peace to the other brothers who actually lost their lives for this. You get what I'm saying? But
Right.
yeah, there's definitely
Mm-hmm.
there was some government, there was something, yeah, there was definitely a government situation that went on with that. And I think
Absolutely.
something was up with Ferguson or the town next
Mm-hmm.
to Ferguson in
Mm-hmm.
regards to, I believe it was oil, or it might have been something that Ferguson had underneath. I do remember
Really?
that. I do remember that. Yeah, like I'm trying to let me
Mm-hmm.
think. I do remember something was going on with some type of natural resource in
Wow.
St. Louis at the time. Let me see if I can pull it up. That's why it's like, um,
Go ahead.
yeah, dang, I should have took screenshots. Let me see if I can pull it
Go
up there
ahead.
real quick. Go ahead.
While you're looking for that, what I also find interesting, guys, and you'll see because the video is ready, that somehow Jay-Z got twisted all up with Darren Seals.
Oh,
And
how?
Darren Seals was in talks with Rock Nation about a record deal, and Darren Seals turned him down. He turned him down. And you
Wow.
know what happens to artists that turn Jay-Z down. I believe that, of course, because Darren Seal had this group called Dead on Arrival, right? He had formed this group. They was blowing up. He was in talks with Meek Mills and some other record labels. Jay-Z swoops in. He met up with Jay-Z. They talked about it. Darren Seals was like, "Nah, man, I'm not interested in that. I'm more about the movement or whatever." And then all of a sudden, he turns up under live.
Mm.
Why?
Wow.
D. Ray McKesson, you'll see a picture of him with Beyonce with their hands up in this video. They're together, hands up.
Wow.
Why?
Wow.
Why? Because he was making too much noise. He wasn't like the three women in D. Ray McKesson. Darren Seals was like Tupac Shakur. I
Mm-hmm.
swear to God, he got powed up and came back a revolutionary. That's what the first video I showed you was about. It
Yeah.
changed him, just like it changed Tupac Shakur, right? Tupac
Yep.
got shot and he came back and he was ready to fight for something better. Same
You're
thing
right.
happened to Darren Seals. That's why he wasn't afraid of nothing, just like the first video said. When I got pow and I faced death and I came out of it, I was scared of nothing. And he came back and he spoke his mind. He wasn't polished like the three women the leaders or founders of Black Lives Matter, or he wasn't Delray, McKesson, but he was real to Ferguson. And
Yeah.
that's why they silenced
Exactly.
this young man.
Yep. Because he had
That's why they silenced.
he had a real
Go
reach.
ahead.
He had a real no. See, you got to look at it. They're going to get rid of the ones that they cannot control.
Just like
And he was,
Tupac.
and yeah, exactly. He was one of them ones that he wasn't going to go for a lot of that crap. And then my bad. Look, no, Ferguson. It wasn't for the oil, but I believe oil is found in Western Missouri. So but it was something going on with the reason why they needed that uprising or something. I forgot. I was talking to someone. Like I said, I should
I'm
have just
going
kept
to
my
tell you
notes.
what it is. I'm going to tell you what my research says. Now, yours may be different because it's multiple reasons. No, there's no wrong or right answer because it's multiple reasons. We know how they work, right? The
Yeah.
first reason was Obama didn't do shit. He didn't do shit for the black community. It was approaching election time. He needed a deflection. He needed a reason to act like he was going to step in and save the black folk because Darren Seals and a lot of other black woke people were calling him out. It was
Yeah.
all a deflection. Go ahead. Who's calling?
Well, I want to say pleasant even everyone. Hey, Auntie Leah. Is that no West?
Hey, Chimp.
I was looking into
What up,
this
man?
Darren Seals character. Yeah, they said. Yeah, I mean, I was quiet at first because I was listening. Seth West really filling a lot of blanks. I mean, I really do see the similarities between, the 1960s America, that type of movement. You get too loud, you get too boisterous. Well, we silence you.
Right.
And I also look into the type of feathers, Darren Seals was ruffling, and he made quite a lot of enemies. When you look at it, politicians, activist organizations, nonprofit leaders, local gangs, the Democratic Party, and
Yes.
Seth said not the original BLM's financial
Right.
structure, but the fake one, and then media manipulation. So looking at it, I was like, man, this young man, he was really a wildfire, but to me, it was so unprotected.
Yes.
To
Now let
get
me ask y'all
caught,
a question.
just like that in the car.
Hmm. Yes.
What's that?
Nobody's listen. And I don't mean to cut you off, Temper. You done? Were you done with
Yeah,
your
yeah.
statement?
I'm
I'm
just saying
sorry.
he was so unprotected. Yeah, he was so unprotected during all of this.
I want y'all
That's
to
what I'm
ask
just
you guys.
looking at.
Right. I want you guys to ask yourself a question.
Yeah.
Why is it the black men that try to rise above oppression and to lead their people to becoming woke, why are they assassinated? Nipsey Hussle, Tupac Shakur, right? Malcolm X, many more. Darren Seals, many
Well,
more. Why are
um,
they taken out? Because there's a
well,
gentleman. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say, well, the job really won't be a job if everyone's a manager. Who's going to be the worker?
Yeah,
Who's going to be the laborer? Who's going to be this? Who's going to be that? So, if everyone had the same type of knowledge of what's going on as to what we see as leadership, then system just wouldn't be the system. You know, someone got to be the
agreed.
cog.
Agreed.
Small wheel got to push the bigger wheel. So
Right.
that's my
And then
answer
you,
to kind of why it has to be like that.
I agree. And then let's take it a little step farther before we start the video. Why are melanated people so hated? Why are we so feared, really? Why do people that are unmelanated hate us so much that they spend their whole entire life trying to destroy us, kill us, cut our bloodline off, everything? And I know that it doesn't seem like God protects us, but He does. You remember in the old, who's read the Old Testament? I know plenty of people in this chat has. Do you remember when God ordered people to take a whole bloodline out? The whole bloodline, the whole race, just take them out. He's never ordered that for us. Let's think about it. He's never ordered the whole black race to be eliminated like he has in the Old Testament to others. We're not his enemies. We're his chosen people. That's why he hated us so much. And I don't even know where that came from. That just came to my mind. I
No,
don't even
that's
know where that came from, guys. It just
no that's real because that's real. I was about to say Deuteronomy 28. If y'all study Deuteronomy 28, uh, if you don't think that God is real and His people are real, look at Deuteronomy 28. That was written centuries ago, and look at who it's
mm,
talking about. That's
mm,
why um, we get hated on. You know what I'm saying? And
absolutely.
I think that the main thing about the Deuteronomy 28 is just about being obedient, and I think for the most part, it's really about us being obedient. And even the United States, I think I just saw a brother. No, not even seen a brother. It was who my grandmother fellowshipped under. Price, Pastor
Mm-hmm.
Price, and
Mm.
Crenshaw,
Frederick Price.
Crenshaw
Fred Price.
Christian Center. Yeah, Frederick Price. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That was
I
a
remember.
cold. He was a cold brother. He passed
I
away
used to
some
listen to
time
him.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. My grandmother used to go to his church, and before she got put in the hospice, and
Mm-hmm.
he was like, why United States hate us, and we're the only people that never went to war with y'all. You get what I'm saying? It's like
Mm-hmm.
ain't nobody,
Yeah.
put all of this. We're fighting for human rights. We're fighting for civil rights. The Panthers are talking about human rights. It's like, but
Mm-hmm.
they didn't go to war with, like, we never went to war with the United States. Why? And y'all
Mm-hmm.
still hate us. It's crazy.
Right.
But yeah, Deuteronomy 28. Read that whole chapter. In fact, just read that whole book. But yeah.
Yep. I swear to God, it has to be something special about us. One thing I do know that's a scientific fact is that we're the only race that can birth every race. So, with that being said, if you really think about it, if we are the only race that can birth every race, then who and what race was Adam and Eve? Sorry. If we are the only race that can produce all races, what race was the first man and woman.
Hmm.
Think about it. That's why they hate us. Because science has proven that we are the only race that can produce all races. So that means that what? We were made in God's image. Period, point blank. Don't know where that's coming from, but it's coming at me right now. It's
Indeed.
coming at me right now. It is what it is. They hate it.
But when you look at history, Ethiopia is the first. So, you know, all black people come from Ethiopia.
Yep. I really want to know where the Garden of Eden was originally located. We'll figure it out. I think it was in Africa. Matter of fact, I know it was in Africa. I just don't know exactly where. Ethiopia? I believe that.
I'm trying to remember the 4 rivers. I remember too, Gihon and Pison. It's another 2 that's around it. Those rivers are found in Ethiopia. Those 4 rivers.
I believe that. I believe that from the depths of my heart. So
all right,
I don't
go
want.
ahead. Let me look at the other part. I'm gonna have to charge my phone. I'm gonna be in the bushes, but yeah,
All right.
I want to see this next part. But definitely keep up the good work.
Let's get into it, guys. You got it. Let's get into it, guys. You guys ready? All right. Let me put it on the screen and just learn. Let's learn something. Let's go.
I'm not with no organization. I represent the streets. The ones who out there fighting and dying every day. When Mike Brown was just a young boy laying on the streets dead, he didn't get none of this. Half of y'all didn't even come support him. It was the streets. CNN didn't care. Listen, when Mike Brown was just a young man laying in the streets dead for 4 hours, it was me, a couple of other faces out here, and that's it. Wasn't no CNN, wasn't no Jesse, wasn't no Al, wasn't none of that. We gotta start valuing black lives. Value these young men. They the next presidents, the next governors, the next mayors, and y'all write them off. The elders, they don't even respect us how they see. We respect our elders, but respect us too, love us too. We the after crack era. We the AC generation, after crack. Our fathers left us. Our fathers left us. We are the monster y'all created when y'all left those homes and let the women raise us. The mothers raised us. I love these women out here. I represent these women out here. I'm gonna tell y'all something. All of these cameras and light don't mean nothing. Guess what? When all the fame on, CNN and come no more, it's us out there gonna be fighting and dying every day how it started. So respect us, love us, unite with us. Cause we're gonna be on that front line dying. We all Mike Brown. We Mike Brown. The elders Mike Brown. They not gonna kill you. Don't kill us.
We got to fight back. We got to fight back. Are you gonna show me? We got to fight back. Your little brother me. We got to fight back. Your little sister me. We got to fight back. Your mama's mama me. We got to fight back. This whole dear community. We got to fight back. 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 That's not a mic.
Before we start this journey tonight, I want you to pause and feel this moment, because what you're about to hear is not just another story about violence, not just another headline we scroll past. This is about truth. This is about Ferguson, and this is about a man named Darren Seals Jr., a son, a brother, a fighter, who dared to call out corruption even when it cost him his life. See, some stories are meant to shake your spirit. Darren's story will shake your soul. He stood on the same streets where Michael Brown took his last breath, and he never stopped demanding answers. He called out injustice in real time, from the police, from the media, and even from the very movements built on Black pain. And for that, they tried to erase him. But here's the truth. You can't burn what was born from fire. You can't silence a man whose message became a movement. And tonight, we're going to follow that fire. From the front lines of Ferguson to the final hours of Darren Seals' life. This isn't about conspiracy. This is about courage. This is about a system that fears accountability. And it's about a community that refuses to forget one of its own. So sit with me, family. Lean in close, because when we finish tonight, I want you to ask yourself one question. If the people brave enough to speak truth keep dying in silence, who's really safe to tell the story? Nevertheless, he has the heart of Tupac Shakur, so I'm all in.
I hope you're getting all these pictures in as those tear gas clouds start to move in front of the Ferguson Police Department.
Just walking up there and we were gonna fall to our knees at the control center. Don't shoot. And they just start shooting.
The year is 2014. America's streets are on fire. Ferguson, Missouri becomes the flashpoint of a nation's fury after the police killing of Mike Brown.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
The protests aren't just loud, they're seismic.
Hands up, don't run. We ain't done it just to come. Name by name, we rise to flame. Darren Seals, remember the name. Jersey, don't run. I ain't ready to climb this come. Name by name, we rise to flame. Darren Seals, remember the name. Copy, another young king, they try to take. GM rap, dreams too rich for the system. He said, don't post me, stand with me. Truth ain't quiet, it's a symphony. 6 shots deep, still on his feet. They couldn't kill what the people repeat. Born in the fire, built for the streets. Drum like thunder, heart don't sleep. Bad hype Alex, truth for repeat. Born in the fire, built for the streets. Drum like thunder, heart don't sleep. Bad hype Alex, truth for repeat. Say his name. Sorry, spin where the lights stay red. Too many words that the feeling said. Files get still, voices are raised, but the beat still pounds in the same old place. He told the block, keep your camera steady. Freedom ain't neat, it's raw and heavy. St. Louis pride in every tone. From North County straight to the throne. Oh, that truth. Strong these streets. From the smoke we still remain. Justice echo in his name. Born in the fire, built for the streets. Drums like thunder, I don't sleep. They burn the Jeep, but not the wheel. Say his name, Darren Seals Jr. Born in the fire, built for the streets. Drums like thunder, I don't sleep. They burn the Jeep, but not the wheel. Say his name, Darren Seals Jr. Born in the fire, built for the streets. Drums like thunder, heart don't sleep. Built for the streets. Built for the streets. Built for the streets.
A well-known Ferguson activist who was involved in the protest following the death of Michael Brown has been found dead. Police discovered the body of 29-year-old Darren Seals in a burning car Tuesday morning. He sustained a gunshot to the head. According to the St. Louis Police Department, its Bureau of Crimes Against Persons and Bomb and Arson Unit responded to a vehicle fire at 1:50 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Upon discovering Seals' body, police concluded he was shot in the head before the car was set on fire. Seals, a factory line worker and hip-hop musician, held down the front lines in Ferguson, but also spoke about another fight for justice in his last tweet on September 5th about San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick. The NFL mad about hashtag Kaepernick protests, but I bet they don't turn down all the money from them jersey sales. Seals' death is under investigation. Many people there are concerned because they believe he may have been targeted. If you have any information regarding his death, call 314-615-5400 or call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-8477.
Ferguson, Missouri, September 6, 2016. Flames tore through the still night air on Diamond Drive in Riverview, Missouri. I remember seeing those images for the first time. a Jeep Wrangler fully engulfed in fire, its metal groaning as the blaze consumed it. Inside that Jeep was a man whose voice had once carried the weight of an entire movement. His name was Darren Seals Jr. His death was brutal, deliberate, and unsolved, a message carved into the smoke for anyone daring to speak truth to power. Darren was born on May 15, 1987 in St. Louis County. He grew up in Ferguson, just blocks from where Michael Brown would later be shot and killed. He was a product of the same streets, the same schools, the same quiet struggle that ran through every working-class black family in North County. By day, he worked at General Motors. By night, he wrote music, hard, reflective, unfiltered. It wasn't about fame, it was about survival, about documenting life in a place where sirens spoke louder than justice. Before the world ever chanted, "Hands up, don't shoot," Darren already knew the cost of being black and visible. In April of 2013, another young man, Kerry Terrell Ball Jr., was killed by St. Louis police after a high-speed chase. 25 bullets tore through his body. Kerry was a college student, an honor student on track to graduate. His mother, Toni Taylor, and his brother Carlos stood in front of microphones in courthouses, their grief laid bare. Darren watched that family fight for answers that never came, and he knew the truth that every young black man in America feels deep down. You can do everything right and still not make it home. That realization planted the seed that would grow into his life's work. Darren started organizing long before Ferguson was a headline. He was already speaking out against police brutality, already pushing his community to stand up for itself. When Michael Brown was killed, Darren was ready, not because he wanted to be, but because he had to be.
It was 4.5 hours before they finally removed the body. It pointed to a terrible America in which, on a given August afternoon, a young black American male could be shot dead as he no more than walked down the street.
You don't do a dog like that. I mean, you know how hard it was for me to get him to stay in school and graduate? You know how many black men graduate? This was an execution. This was an assassination. What are we fighting for? I don't want y'all killing my child because she walked out the door. Y'all having a bad day. Move out the way, motherfucker.
I don't know fully what happened, nor do you.
Our hearts are out there. Police brutality against African Americans is rising.
We can't have people fearful. We can't have police officers killing people.
I don't look like I'm putting my thumb on the scales one way or the other.
Missouri is the new Mississippi.
We have determined there is cause for the Justice Department to open an investigation.
Everybody want me to be calm. Do you know how them bullets hit my son?
No probable cause exists to file any charge against Officer Wilson.
He was tired. He was fed up. He was ready for change. So he started a movement. On that hot August morning in 2014, Michael Brown and his friend Dorian Johnson were walking down Canfield Drive when Officer Darren Wilson approached them. Dorian later testified that Wilson yelled, "Get the folks on the sidewalk."
Weeks
Michael
of civil
replied,
unrest,
"We're almost home."
marked by anger
Then
and
the
frustration.
SUV reversed. The door swung open. A hand reached out and
After
grabbed
the
Michael
shooting
by the
death of
shirt.
18-year-old
There was
Mike
a
Brown
struggle
Jr.
and then a gunshot. Dorian ran, but he turned just in time to
10
see
years
his
later,
friend
Michael
stumble
Brown's
into the
mother,
street,
Leslie
hands
McSpadden,
raised
says
high.
she's still
Hands up,
waiting
don't
for
shoot.
justice. The shots that followed ripped through more than Michael's body.
Emotional?
They tore open the soul of a city.
Sad.
Me, I will not survive.
Heartbreaking, waiting on the promises that were made by
once he's coming that direction,
officials.
If he hasn't stopped yet, when's he gonna stop?
10 years later, those promises become broken promises.
After
one of those broken promises
to
to charge the officer who shot Brown, she says, came from the St. Louis County prosecutor and attorney when he chose not to pursue charges in 2020. The unarmed 18-year-old was shot 6 times by then Ferguson, Missouri police officer Darren Wilson back on August 9, 2014. It all stemmed from an encounter earlier in the day when Brown was accused of stealing a pack of cigarillos from a nearby liquor store. The killing of Brown ignited weeks of protests, riots, and looting in the small town located 15 miles north of St. Louis, putting Ferguson into the public consciousness. Claims of excessive force and racial bias would lead to demonstrations around the country. Then President Barack Obama even weighed in on the fatal shooting.
I know that many Americans have been deeply disturbed by the images we've seen in the heartland of our country as police have clashed with people protesting.
You know, there was nothing. It was like hollow just looking through me.
You first found out. Where were you?
I was at work. I had an incoming call. I looked at my phone. It was my sister. She just said to me, they shot Mike. Those are her only words to me when I clicked over and said hello.
I fired when I saw was his head, and that's where it went.
My heart dropped, my phone dropped.
Yes. Some witnesses have also said
I saw an officer standing there. He's never seen me, I've never seen him. And I asked him, is that my son? And he said, yeah. And I can't tell you anything that happened after that for probably 72 hours, because I died for a second there. I was lost it. I couldn't believe it. Not my son, why? Why? And I still got those questions.
Dorian
Why?
Johnson met Michael Brown about 5 months before Brown was shot and killed last August in Ferguson, Missouri. That anniversary is coming up this Sunday. They had been walking together when they encountered police officer Darren Wilson. It was Johnson's account of what happened that day that helped inspire the protest chant, "Hands up, don't shoot." It became a hashtag, a slogan on T-shirts and stickers, and a symbolic gesture by NFL players. Johnson told his story in several TV interviews in the days just after Brown's death.
He shot again, and once my friend felt that shot, he turned around and he put his hands in the air, and he started to get down, but the officer still approached with his weapon drawn, and he fired several more shots.
The Department of Justice did not find evidence to support that account. Already a controversial figure, Dorian Johnson came under even more scrutiny after the DOJ report and has tried to stay out of the spotlight. This week, a new interview with him was published in the St. Louis alternative paper Riverfront Times, and Dan Witentowski did that interview, joins us now to talk about it. Welcome to the program, Danny.
Thanks for having me, Audie.
So we heard a little clip of Dorian Johnson there speaking in a TV interview. How has his account of what happened on August 9th changed in the last year, if at all?
You know, it's actually been a remarkably consistent account, but it's also, a piece of witness testimony that speaks to this greater challenge of figuring out what happens during 2 minutes, during a particular day at a particular time. In the year sort of since Dorian Johnson sort of made sort of that famous line where he said that he was shot with his hands up in the air, as well as saying that he was shot in the back. Really, the only significant change was that Johnson said that he actually did not see Brown shot in the back. He didn't see a bullet strike his friend, but he had seen the gunshot happen, and in the same moment, Brown turned around. And so he sort of linked these two actions in his mind, and he initially presented it as fact. A lot of people, though, took that as a lie, as a sort of a manipulation that shows Dorian Johnson as sort of this untrustworthy and even malicious kind of a witness.
So remind us what happened to him in the immediate aftermath. Obviously, he was part of the investigation, but kind of what was he up to, or where was he?
Well, the interesting thing is that he told me that he kind of drops off the map at that point. He gets in contact with the NAACP in St. Louis, and they sort of shuttle him off in this sort of protective custody in various hotel rooms. and really only went out to get necessities. He was there with his girlfriend and his daughter at the time, and he basically watched a lot of TV, and he told me that it was sort of this overwhelming experience where it was the only way that he could sort of feel connected was just to watch TV endlessly in these hotel rooms.
About 9 months later, he's actually arrested at a block party in St. Louis, and he's charged with resisting arrest. It makes national news again. What did he tell you about the period around that time?
He told me that was actually, before that arrest, he had felt that he was finally getting back to a sort of where he had hoped his life would be taking him. He had found a job finally, and then this block party comes up, and there's a confrontation with a police officer and his brothers. He's arrested with his brothers, and he feels that he was being harassed and targeted by the police department for the things he'd said about Michael Brown.
Throughout the article, you do get a sense that he feels persecuted. How did he explain himself to you?
I think he finds himself in this very strange tension in that he saw Michael Brown die just a few feet away from him. He has sort of been, I would say mythologized almost as this part of the Ferguson story. But he was also someone who was really kept outside of a lot of the action. He was really on the other side of the glass, so to speak. He couldn't participate in the protests. He didn't really have any contact with the protest activists or leaders. And I think he is a guy who really wishes he could be involved and could have lent his own voice to, the whole situations that played out over those next weeks and months.
We heard earlier this week on the program that Officer Darren Wilson actually received enough donations from supporters to buy a new home, and he's more or less staying out of the public eye with his wife and daughter. Johnson also has a daughter. What kind of support has he had in these last few months?
Did you guys hear that? They just said that this officer that unalived Michael Brown received enough donations from the Democrat Party and the NAACP to buy him and his family a home. Cash. This police officer that murked Michael Brown received enough money from the Democrats and the NAACP, the NAACP, to buy a whole entire home. Nefarious. Crazy work.
I was not able to get a definite answer on the exact support. He actually has 4 children. He just had a baby daughter with his girlfriend. And from what I could tell, he got a lot of help from the NAACP. He got a lot of help from family and friends, including Michael Brown's family, which were the people he first ran to after the shooting. He went to Brown's grandmother's house. But beyond that, I didn't get a sense that he was...
I am here. Now they're saying that Dorian Johnson, which was the witness to Michael Brown's unaliving, received a lot of help from the NAACP. Keep that in mind. Keep in mind that Dorian Jones, which was the eyewitness to the unaliving of Michael Brown, received a lot of help from the NAACP, just like the police officer that unalived Michael Brown. Please keep that in mind.
Really getting a lot of monetary or material support. But again, I was not able to ask him that directly with his lawyer there, and I wasn't able to confirm that.
I don't know what you were expecting to find, but in what way did Dorian Johnson surprise you, or what aspects of his story struck you?
I think it's the sense of the trauma that he experienced of watching his friend die. The fact that he's told the story so many times and has been doubted and threatened because of what he's claimed to do. He was really, just there for that one incredible moment where something happened between Michael Brown and Darren Wilson. The only thing about Dorian Johnson that became significant was what did he see and did he lie? And eventually, how much of a liar is he? And I think he was frustrated by his inability to sort of control how his image was put out there, And eventually, I think you can see in the later interviews that he did during the grand jury, where he's being asked, the guy who just killed your friend is not going to be indicted. How do you feel? And you can see such a bitterness in his face where he just has to say again, I know what I saw. I know that he shot Michael Brown. This is wrong. And I think that was something that was very apparent during our interview last week.
We mentioned the Department of Justice report that did not support his version of events. What happened? What was the reaction that Dorian Johnson had to face after that?
Well, I think even in the earliest days after Michael Brown's death, especially when Dorian Johnson's sort of accounts started coming out, a lot of blogs and a lot of ones that sort of align themselves as sort of these conspiracy theorist or right-wing blogs, they really tore him apart. But I think that DOJ report was very difficult for him. And he kind of felt that, they just made a judgment call. They were going to believe someone else and not him. And when I asked him, it seemed that he had a similar reaction to the grand jury, where he felt that there had just been this sort of top-down decision that no one was going to look further into Darren Wilson's guilt or not. They were just going to decide that this was too cloudy and that Dorian Johnson's account simply wasn't supported.
What's been the reaction to your piece?
I think it's brought up a lot of the similar objections to Johnson's testimony. And again, a lot of it involves his character.
We've learned a person of interest in connection with the shooting death of Dorian Johnson has been released from custody. Johnson was with Michael Brown Jr. the day he was killed by Ferguson police in 2014. It was just yesterday, early Sunday morning, Ferguson police say Johnson was shot and killed. Today, the St. Louis County Prosecutor's Office said the incident appeared to be domestic and involved a claim of self-defense, which is why the person of interest was released pending further investigation.
They lit the flame, but the truth survive. Ain't no grave where his name can hide. Ferguson rose when the system lied. Say his name, Darren Seals, the fire never died. Fire never died. Fire never died. They said justice, but they sold us pain. Took our tears, turned them into a campaign. We bled in the streets, they cashed the game. Still we ride like smoke through rain. From the corner to the Capitol steps, we the ones that the devil won't test. Told them death ain't the end, it's breath. Every martyr just multiplies flesh. They lit the flame, but the truth survive. Ain't no grave where his name can hide. Ferguson rose when the seals don't lie. Say his name, Darren Seals, the fire never died. The fire never died. The fire never died. The fire never died. Yeah, yeah. Hands up, but they ain't that pride. Shot the body, tried to kill the mind. Told us peace, but they built more crime. Fed our cry to the media line. From the hood to the pulpit, pain got wings. We the choir that the struggle still sings. Every block still echoes that ring. One flame lit birth to a king. He told us they profit off our death. They fear truth, so they silence what's said, but the fire they spark burns red. St. Louis heartbeat can't be led. We the children of the streets that bled. Write the story they wanted unread. Revolution ain't something we spread, it's something we live. Enough said. They lit a flame, but the truth survive. Ain't no grave where his name can hide. Ferguson rose when the system lied. Say his name, Darren Seals, the fire never died. The fire never died. The fire never died. Fire never died. From the smoke came power. From the loss came pride. From the grave came voices. The fire never died.
I've read Dorian Johnson's grand jury testimony. His words hold a pain only a survivor can carry. He described every moment in detail, the fear, the confusion, the disbelief. He was just a kid, but that day he became a witness to history. His story sparked a movement, but it also made him a target. Years later, he too would be found dead, shot near Ferguson, as if the ghosts of 2014 had come back to finish what they started. When Michael fell, Darren stepped up. He joined the protests that erupted that same night. He stood in the tear gas, stared down riot shields, and led chants that shook the ground beneath armored trucks. Out of that chaos, Hands Up United was born. Not a corporate entity, but a raw grassroots movement of real people who had nothing left to lose. Darren's voice became one of its loudest. They turn our funerals into photo ops, he said. They turn our pain into profit. That's not liberation, that's exploitation. He saw it early. The way television crews framed grief like theater. The way outside organizers arrived with cameras and hashtags. The way the world turned tragedy into trend. Darren understood that if Black Death could generate clicks and donations, then somebody was getting paid.
Campaign off our shit and listening to all these funds off our shit. And then black folks, you know, we ignorant to a lot of this type of shit because we ain't into that. So when they started the hashtag Black Lives Matter, it was so catchy that everybody shared it, everybody started saying it, and it became so big, so large. People actually thought like, oh, this just a catchy hashtag, but people didn't know it. This was actually an organization. The founding members are 3 lesbian girls: D-Ray, the girls, Brittany Alexis, the dude Charles Wade. All the people that's involved in this whole, in the forefront of this whole Black Lives Matter campaign, zero shit, they all gay. It's like a gay couple. So they using this, they're using their sexuality for protection. Cause you know the white folk, they're gonna protect you when you gay, they with you when you gay. So they soliciting all these funds, doing all this fraud shit. And they're using the fact they're gay as a shield. So you really can't say shit about them, because when you do, they come for your neck. They stick together, you know what I mean? All of them eating off Mike Brown death though. Now they traveling. D-Ray, he go to Yale. They give him like 40 bands to go to Yale and speak. They got him as the face of Ferguson. He ain't even from this motherfucker. Never even been to this motherfucker until Mike Brown died. Dude from Baltimore. And they ran him up out of there. Now he down here the face of Ferguson, the face of the movement. They call him the next Malcolm X. That's a insult. Malcolm X wouldn't even respect that man, let alone be anything like him. But anyways, so you got the Black Lives Matter shit. It's blowing up. And if you notice, as it's blowing up, you're not hearing about Mike Brown anymore. You're not hearing about Darren Wilson anymore. You're not hearing about the Ferguson Police Department anymore. You're not hearing about none of this corrupt shit about McCullough, Jay Nixon. You're not hearing about none of this shit no more. All you're hearing about is Black Lives Matter now. They took the energy away from Ferguson. But they did it so intelligently, a lot of people didn't understand what was going on when it was going on, so they was helping these motherfuckers. Not even knowing, they still in our shit.
He said they took the energy from the movement in Ferguson. Let's talk about that last night real quick, because I actually looked that up. I wanted to understand what he meant. So, in my opinion, he's really talking about energy harvesting, right? Energy harvesting. So I looked it up on ChatGPT, of course. And basically, spiritual energy harvesting means it is when something or someone draws from your life force, peace, joy, clarity, or emotional strength for their own benefit, leaving you feeling empty, tired, confused, or spiritually weakened. So, in my opinion, when he says that this Black Lives Matter movement that came to Ferguson drained all the energy from these people that had rose up because they was tired of police brutality, tired of the police unaliving them, harassing them. So this organization of these educated women and this educated men that are part of the letter community, again, I have nothing against the letter community, but I find it odd. I find it quite odd that the letter community is always found in high places, in elite status places, that are able to control narratives, that are able to infiltrate organizations and infiltrate movements such as hip hop, right? And they gather all of these complicit minions to come in and steal the energy from a movement, even hip hop. Diddy, Jay-Z, with your down low behinds, came in, wiped a lot of people out, said what I said allegedly. There's no evidence. Everything I'm saying is my opinion, and it's alleged until they're proven innocent. But, they had to give up somebody, so now Diddy sits in jail for a few years because they just had, the heat was it was getting too hot. They had to give him up. Somebody had to be sacrificed. I just find it odd that the letter community has all this power, to come in and completely drain the energy off entire movements.
So you think they collected a lot of? So you think they collected a lot of money?
Yes.
I mean,
$90 million in 1 year. $90 million in 1 year, and did not give nothing back. You'll hear it. It's all in here. Back to Ferguson, where it all started. Yes.
That's really harvesting energy. Then all that money, that's a great harvest.
You had people that was going to jail for the movement. They didn't provide bail money. People were dying for the movement. They didn't bury none of them. They just swooped in, took the energy and the focus off of Ferguson, and put it on themselves. A deflection, the great deflection, the great deflection. Switched it all around, and now it's all about black men. Black Lives Matter never sat well with me. Somebody, excuse me, had to explain to me what the so-called movement meant. Because I was one saying, well, everybody's lives matter. What are you talking about? I was one of those, right? And then someone came and said, well, they're not saying that other people's lives don't matter. They're saying that all lives don't matter until Black Lives Matter. And I got what they were saying after they explained it that way. But learning about the history of this organization, he's right. So who really took him out? He had 3 ops. Black Lives Matter, who we know the letter community will take out anybody to cover up their shit, right? Said what I said. BLM, because he was exposing them. The corrupted police department, because he was exposing them. And the KKK, that was sent in by one of these large organizations to infiltrate the movement, to stand side by side, to pretend they were hands up, don't shoot, only to do all this devastating things like looting and burning stuff up and all these things just to make them look bad. 3 ops. Which one did it? Or did they all collectively do it? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go for the latter. They all collectively were working together to destroy it.
I mean, when you challenging the system in this type of way, I mean, no matter how you try to peel this onion, the minute you hit one area, you call. I mean, that area is infected by another area, so it's like it's all a network. So no matter how you look at it, the way this young brother was standing, he was standing on business, on that man. when it comes to integrity, the only integrity was telling the truth. And what that meant, nobody who was corrupt in his eyes, if you had something to do with this, you wasn't safe. I don't care who you were. That's the impression it given me. So when a young man, especially a young black man, you know, and that's why the beginning of the video, it made me almost want to say like, boy, 65 years later, here it is all over again. Because you know,
All over again, Temper. It
yeah,
never stopped.
I know it
It never
never stopped,
stopped.
but I mean, looking at it, it's like, what a time to be alive, you know. You made a read about it, you know, you saw movies about it, but there's the tear gas, there's the riot shield, there's the feeling that, you know, you really don't matter, you know.
Yeah. Yep. And apparently, I mean, we still got the sundown, what is it, the sundown towns,
That's another
where.
thing again.
Go ahead.
No, like seriously, like you really can't bypass these things because no one could really say racism is just a farce or this or that, because I mean there's the reality right there, a real sundown town.
We have several of them.
Someplace you cannot be when the sun touched down.
If you're of a certain color, yep.
Yeah, how surreal is that?
It's America, man. I don't understand how these laws are still in place, but they are. And everything that we're witnessing in this video, it still happens. And you have these large organizations or that are ran by the elites. You know, wickedness in high places. That's what the Bible says. Wickedness in high places. That's who the principalities and all that. That's who we're fighting. All these demon conjuring, devil worshiping witches and warlocks out here running things. And it's all trickling down on us. It has not stopped. And then you think about it though. You think about all 6 people that we know of, only that we know. There were others. Like they swept Danye's death under the rug. Like he committed himself. Like he is the type of person that will go out in the backyard and hang himself. He was so close to his mom. He was with his mom through protests. You'll see Miss Melissa. You probably already did. She's in this video somewhere dancing and protesting. And he right beside her, protecting her because he knew how it was there. He gonna go in her backyard and hang himself to where he know his mom's gonna be the one to find him. Are you kidding me? Who would do that to their mother? Lies. They swept his stuff under the rug. Broke her heart. Please pray for her. She is sick from a broken heart. She now has heart failure. And she's trying her best, but it's like she wants to go be with her son Danye. She's lost 2 sons, DJ and Danye. And her heart's broken, even though it's been 7 years. Some things you just can't get over. I'm just praying for her. I check on her every once in a while. Please pray for her. There's no way in hell that man, that young 24-year-old man did that. My son, if it ever crosses his mind, it better not ever cross his mind because I'm going to whoop his ass back to life and kill him. But you heard what I said. If he ever decided to do that, he wouldn't do it in my backyard. There's no way he will unalive himself in my backyard. You know why? Because he loves me that much to where he doesn't want me to find him like that. And I believe Danye was the same way. I don't believe it, not 1 second, not 1 bit, period, point blank. And then you have Darren Seals shot in the head, burned up. Who was the other guy? What was his name? Let me go back up. I looked it up. DeAndre Joshua, shot in the head, burned up. All these people within the Ferguson protest. Come on. And then you did 2 of them the same way, and we supposed to believe that, oh, nothing? Well, we just couldn't solve it. You wasn't wanting to solve it because you did it. Let's get back to the video. I'm getting pissed. It's ridiculous. Unbelievable, guys. How do I get back to the video, man? Oh my God. Mm-mm-mm. Unbelievable.
They still not they still not shine. A lot of cats went to jail for us to be the main topic in the media. A lot of cats risked their life. Spook got shot in the head. She could be dead right now. You know what I mean? A lot of happened for this to grow into what it became. That was an opportunity to really fight back and really make a change in Ferguson and Missouri as a whole. But as you see, nobody was indicted. Most of the people that was in office still in office, and nothing really happened. They just clearly got away with murder. Nothing happened. Now they on to the next city, then the next city, then the next city, then the next city, being superstars off our we created here. Well, we sitting back still like, damn, what we gonna do? Then after Mike Brown, it was Kajin Powell. Then you had Von Derek Myers, and so on and so on and so on. Cops ain't stopped killing her since Mike Brown died. And what Black Lives Matter doing about it? They just collecting checks. I ain't heard of them paying for no funerals. I ain't heard of them starting no programs for the youth.
Wow.
Well, what? Well, what? Did I miss something?
No, like you said, Angela, I would. No, when he actually just said it. You know, they ain't planned for nothing for the funeral. They ain't do nothing for the youths. And like you said, you know, they collected all our money, but yet, you know, they poured nothing back into the community. Nothing.
Nothing. Not nothing. Pitiful. But Black Lives Matter, selling all this merchandise all over the world, speaking and all this, but gave nothing back to them. And then they took him out because he was exposing it. He was saying too much. And he was fearless. He didn't care. He knew they was going to unalive him. He said it. He told his mom, you'll see in the video. He knew. Just like Pac knew. Did Pac knew?
Wow.
No? Yes.
Yeah. He felt it coming.
But it wasn't the families burying their children. By 2016, the FBI had labeled him a self-described revolutionary. They compiled a 900-page file on his movements, his speeches, his social media posts. He told friends that unmarked cars followed him, that he'd been pulled over at the Bureau's request, questioned, photographed, watched. His 14-year-old brother Byron was with him that day. The police snatched him out of the car. That act struck Darren's heart to the core. He wasn't paranoid, he was aware. If anything happens to me, he said more than once, remember
everybody know me now. I drive a Jeep. It's me and my baby brother. He's 14 years old. So we turned in some paperwork for my mother. She's in the hospital right now. So I'm turning in some paperwork for my little brother. As I'm pulling off, I get pulled over right here. They pull out, pointing guns at me. You seen the whole thing, right? Yep. They pointed guns on me and my 14-year-old little brother. It's Ferguson PD. They pulled guns on me and my little brother. They run up to the car. They pull them out, grab me by my hair, slam me out the car, put me in cuffs, search my car illegally without my permission.
Yeah, I seen them. That's what
I gave them no permission to search my vehicle. I told them they don't have consent to search my vehicle. They searched my vehicle anyway. Then they pull me off the ground. They making calls to the detective. The detectives come. They search my car, say there's nothing in there. They say, did you go to the Trump rally? I said, yeah. He said, you post some shit about Trump on Facebook? I said, yeah. I said, what's that, illegal now? He said, no, there's nothing wrong with that, but you might want to pick your enemies better. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, some people, quote unquote, called in and said, I slang a lot of dope, and I make a lot of money, and I protest against Trump. I said, it's bullshit. Everyone who follow my page knows I work 6 days a week. Right. What drug dealer you know gonna be a public activist? You know what I'm saying? So this ain't about selling no drug. This is about, they're trying to pump fear into us young black men who got balls to stand up against people like Trump, people like Hillary, people like all these motherfuckers. But interview this brother, cause he could tell you his version, cause I don't even know this man. What's your name?
Darren.
Darren, I'm Darren. He's seen the whole thing.
I seen him when I was pulling up to take my son to YMCA. I pulled up, I see him pulling off. Next thing you know, I see all detective cars come from behind him and come from the front. I see one detective get out the car, point his gun at the young man right here, or whatever. They tell him to get out the car. They snatch him up out the car first, from what I seen. They snatched him up out the car. Then snap both of them on the ground. Had them both sitting over there and searched his car. I came back, I seen them standing up. I guess they trying to find drugs or whatever. They didn't find nothing, so they let them go. It's Ferguson that they find it. They don't got nothing else better to do with their life, man. This is what Ferguson do all day long.
But look, they know who sell drugs. They know they know what's going on. They did all of this talking about Facebook and Donald Trump. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they called it tow truck. I thought they was gonna try.
Ain't no towing shit. My license right, my registration right. I ain't got no warrants.
Then on top of that, little bro, you 14?
He's 14 years old. They pulled a gun on him, pulled him out the car, and put him in cuffs. He's 14 years old. That's some bullshit.
People talking about trauma.
But look. I'm glad you seen it, brother. And I'm glad you stopped too. Cause we can't let this shit ride. Bro.
Yeah, man.
I'm getting a lawyer. I'm calling a lawyer today. We on their ass. I'm get your information. They ain't like cause they do this shit because we allow them to get away with it. But it ain't going down like that, bro.
That's all it is. That's all we need is people to come together like us young black men come together and do everything by the book. And that way they can't get away with shit like this. Because if we don't do it by the book and let them get away with it, they're gonna continue.
And I'm glad you witnessed the whole thing.
They're gonna continue to do it.
We don't know it. You just so happen to be passing by, and you was passing by too. And you seem perfect, man. It's good.
I told my girl, I'm like, that look like D said.
Yeah.
I was like, wait.
And then they said, who are you? You're so popular. They talking about you got shot 7 times. I'm like, damn, how you know? So y'all already doing y'all research on me. Y'all already know who I am. So why are you even acting like it's some drugs? You know it ain't no drug dealing involved. You know I don't sell drugs. You know exactly who I am. So you know I don't sell. You know I don't sell drugs. You know me from Mike Brown. You know me from being against Trump. And I'm against all you motherfuckers. Let's be clear. It ain't about just Trump. Because I feel like Trump the only motherfucker that's just honest. I'm gonna be perfectly fine. But it's not just Trump. I'm against white supremacy. I'm against all them motherfuckers. But
driving in your neighborhood,
driving in my community, picking
up
up something, not for my mother. My mother in the hospital right now. She's been in the hospital for a week. She had a blood transfusion. Like, I'm turning paperwork for my mother, and these motherfuckers literally pulled me over, slammed me on the ground, grabbed me by my head, put guns on my face, put guns on my brother's face, all because of Trump. Because I might post about Trump, because I did some activism against the Trump rally. Nah, man, it ain't going down like that, bro.
You all day then.
They had to be, bro.
In order for them to know your location and all that stuff. Get up off there.
And they say it's his only excuse was they said they didn't know what's going on. They just know that the detectives wanted me pulled over. But they couldn't even explain who, when, and why. They say just.
So they had your license plate.
They say pick your enemies better. They say pick your enemies better. Get him. Get his plate. There you go. That's the motherfucker that did it. That's his plate. That slammed me right there.
With the black shirt?
Yeah.
They got nothing better. That's what I'm saying. They have to follow you or something in order for them to actually know where you was there. For them to jump down on you like.
Oh, they might have just seen me. I mean, this they area they be in, so when they seen my Jeep, they seen, you know what I'm saying? You can look through the Jeep and see my hair, you see who I am. I mean, they got it where they can just read your place while you ain't even by them, you know what I mean? So they read my place and they knew who it was. But they talking about selling some drugs. Ain't no selling no drugs, but guess what? I'm on y'all ass. I believe that. I'm on y'all ass. This ain't riding. I ain't scared of shit. Ain't no pumping no fear in my blood, homie. Talking about, man, they don't with the right one. Just know that. Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
No problem, family.
Appreciate you.
You good, little bro?
Appreciate you, brother. Thanks, little man. See you later, little man. So, little man.
Yeah.
Let me get your number. I'm gonna get my other phone.
You could see the pain in people's faces at that time. It had been the first time I held a grown man crying, in fact. And so Darren was among those people who were gathering amongst the many groups of people.
Seals wasn't afraid to call out anyone, politicians, organizations, even Black Lives Matter. He accused the movement's leaders of hijacking Ferguson's fight, turning it into a cash cow.
29-year-old Darren Seals was murdered before his killer set his car on fire.
Once they put out the flames, they discovered Seals' body inside with a gunshot wound.
They pointed guns on me and my 14-year-old little brother. It's Ferguson PD. Grabbed me by my hair, slammed me out the car, He said you might want to pick your enemies better.
This is After the Uprising, Season 2, The Murder of Darren Seals.
Emergency 911, St. Louis County, address for your emergency.
Riverview apartment. It's a fire in my parking lot. Like this car is on fire. Yeah.
The car on fire?
Yes.
All right, stay on the phone to the fire department, okay?
Yeah, I ain't even hit the gas yet.
Fire ambulance, service emergency.
Yes, I'm at 9640 Diamond Drive, and it's a car on fire in my parking lot.
Okay, and it's right in front of 9640.
When the fire department pull up, they'll see the fire. They'll see it.
All right, well, on the way. Thank you.
This 911 call was made at 1:18 a.m. on September 6, 2016. The apartment complex where a Jeep Wrangler was fully ablaze in the parking lot was in Riverview, a small St. Louis County municipality. When the fire department arrived, they had no idea that when they extinguished the blaze, they would find the severely burned body of a man inside. The Riverview Police Department is too small to have a homicide unit, so they called in the assistance of the St. Louis County Police Department, which took over the case. They were quickly able to determine that the Jeep belonged to Darren Seals, but it would take several more hours for them to confirm that it was his body left inside the burning vehicle. Then the news of Darren's death moved quickly across not only St. Louis, but the world.
Tonight, some area residents say they've lost a voice. An activist during the Ferguson unrest, 29-year-old Darren Seals, was murdered before his killer set his car on fire.
Seals was found shot inside a burning car in Riverview on Diamond Drive. Police initially thought they were responding to a car on fire.
Someone who lives in the area tells News 4 she heard a boom before the car was discovered burning.
Seals' charred body was found in the wreckage of his car. Investigators say there's no known motive in the killing.
Seals, who was also a rap artist, frequently tweeted about racism, police violence, and politics.
Darren, having been a major figure in the Ferguson movement, not to mention his involvement in the local hip-hop scene, had become something of a celebrity. So his funeral was a packed house event. After several heartfelt and fiery speeches, the large crowd chanted his name, and passing cars honked their horns as pallbearers carried his coffin from the church.
You're getting all these pictures in as those tear clouds start to move in front of the Ferguson Police Department.
Darren was a complicated man who, though he died at the young age of 29, had already lived a complicated life, and the story of how and why he came to be shot in the head and left in a burning car is representative of that complexity. On his Twitter bio, Darren described himself as, quote, businessman, revolutionary, activist, unapologetically Black, all caps, African in America, that's 3 Ks in America there, fighter, leader. But he was so much more, depending on who you ask. Darren was a son, a big and little brother, an employee of General Motors, a convicted felon, an artist, a protector. Again, Darren was complicated. I knew Darren, not well, but I had seen him out in the streets of Ferguson during the protests that followed the killing of Mike Brown Jr. by Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson. I remember him being fierce and brave. Darren explained how he came to the protest to filmmaker Che Black on his YouTube channel.
How you doing, brother?
Fine, man. How you doing?
Pretty good now. How did you first start with the organizing and mobilization in Ferguson after Mike Brown?
When he was murdered, because he died so close to my home, I just went out there, and then I really didn't even know what I was doing. I just knew I wasn't going nowhere until we did something about it. It was just people in the community coming together, a small group of people, Black men, Black women. We was trying to see what the hell was going on, and I always see gunned down like that. Yeah, we was just trying to check up on his moms. And originally, when it first happened, I was concerned with the mother. Black mother just lost her son. I walked her home, and she just cried to me. She threw up. She was real sick. She was just really just lost. She didn't know what was gonna happen, what to do. And so I gave her my word. I said, I'm not leaving. I'm not stopping until we get justice. We're gonna figure out what happened to your son.
Exactly, Mayotte. Why?
Hmm.
He wasn't wrong. Around 2 a.m. On September 6, 2016, a 911 call came into Riverview Dispatch. A resident on Diamond Drive said there was a Jeep on fire outside her home. She sounded terrified. Within minutes, police and firefighters arrived. The fire was already raging, the vehicle fully engulfed. By the time the flames were out, a body was found inside. The man had been shot before being set ablaze. The Jeep was registered to Darren Seals Jr. By sunrise, the community already knew. The streets that once echoed his chants now carried only disbelief. His mother, Mary Bonnie Otis, was called to the medical examiner's office to identify the body. A skeleton and few fingers were all left of her baby.
I want you to pay attention to that. He was found around in between 2 a.m. and 2:30 a.m. that morning. By sunrise, they already knew who the victim was. My question is how? When his mother went to the morgue to identify him that same morning, said he was just a skeleton. It was just a skeleton and a few fingers left. How did the media know? How did the police know without doing an autopsy, without taking DNA, without comparing dentals? How did they know so fast it was Darren Seals? Because the car was registered to him? That's not enough time. It takes days for them to identify a body in that type of state. How did they already announce that morning that it was Darren Seals that was unalive? Think about that. They already knew who it was because they did it. I said what I said, allegedly. That's the only option. I mean, that's the only logical thing because you don't get results that fast. He had a few fingers left. He was a skeleton with 3 fingers. How can they definitely say it was Darren in that vehicle so fast? It's impossible if you ask me.
What a
What's
horrific
so?
experience.
Go ahead.
I gonna say someone heard the boom, but no one heard the shot.
That's because he was unalived in a different location and
Had the
brought to this
been based on
location. Hmm.
had the been based on how that story went.
Yep. He was unalived in a different location, drove to this location. Pow pow. This has to be several parts to this. This video is already long, but it's more to this. It's a lot more details that I was not able to include about the investigation, about it was a mass. Witnesses say that there was a mass white man that ran off into the woods. It's a lot of things we still have to get into. This is
Yeah.
just the
So
beginning.
okay.
This is just the beginning, and I'm still shocked. Like, how do you guys know for sure? Oh, it's Darren Seals because it's registered to his car. Oh, he's just a skeleton. We can't really ID him. Let's bring his mother down here, even though we know she can't ID him either. He only is a skeleton with a few fingers.
Mm-hmm. And what she's supposed to do that forensics can't do.
She just believed that what they told her at that point, and they never released an autopsy. They never released one.
Mm. And that's the thing about these type of things, Antilia. When you look at the amount of our black brothers and sisters that we see taken like this, one
Mhm.
thing that always stands out: the investigation is always weak.
Mhm.
It's always rushed or it's always
Mhm.
incomplete. And you
Or it
could
was,
see, yeah, you
or
could
it's
see that,
always under investigated. Go ahead. Mhm.
yeah, they never do a good job about it, never do.
Mhm.
And
Nope.
here it is, we're seeing it right now.
Mhm. Yep. How is it? that you got two men that were involved with the Ferguson organizing of the protest that died in the same manner, and neither one
And
of them are solved.
don't you think in some way like the execution style basically this isn't chance, if you really
Hmm.
look at it. This isn't chance this happened. This is basically a warning.
And they're okay with it because I believe they knew about it, and I believe they were complicit. Because, like
No,
I
this,
said, I've never heard of and nowhere in history, and there's studies to back this up where they can release the identification of a body that was damaged to that extent within hours without
that's,
no DNA, without tests, without no dental test, nothing like that. Only
yeah.
because the car was registered to him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Botched investigation.
crazy work, guys. Crazy work. And I for sure don't think that I don't know if they would allow a parent to come see a body in that state either. But I guess anything happens down there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is his mom, and she passed away in 2023. This is Darren Seals' mom, and this is Carl's mom. Was Carl Ball Jr. I believe Kerry Ball Jr. He was unalived by the police as well prior to Michael Brown. He was the first unaliving that got the attention of Darren Seals. That's his mom, Kerry Ball Jr. Yes, that's
Okay.
his name. And this is Michael Brown's mom. May she rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Not Michael Brown. Sorry. This is Darren Seals' mom. May she rest in peace.
Mother endured. Plus, she was on dialysis at the time. She even had to be assisted to the podium when she later spoke at his vigil. Through tears, she said, "The one thing that bothered me was when he said, 'Mom, I want you to know something. The police gon' kill me.' I said, 'Man, please stop saying that.' He put it on Facebook. He said, 'Mama, I need you to know this. They follow me everywhere I go.' It broke my heart every time he said it because words are powerful. I would call him every day to make sure he made it home from work.
You hear that? He told his mom that I want you to know that the police is going to unalive me. He would tell her that
And
often. Go
and
ahead.
that's what I was thinking about 5 minutes ago. Like
Hmm.
even the style in which they did it, it takes a
Hmm.
lot of effort. It takes
Hmm.
some serious boots on the ground because that's
Hmm.
constant surveillance, that's constant communication, that's someone who
Hmm.
knows where he is constantly, and only
Hmm.
one type of people have that type of reach. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah. So
that's
yeah, that leads me to my next question. Who set him up? Who was that close to him that he trusted? Because he didn't trust nobody. And you'll hear somebody say that he already got shot up. He lost trust for everybody. It was somebody
yeah.
that had to get that close to him to bait him right out for whoever the murkers were to get him. The police didn't do any. They never. If they did, they never released any of this. When I did a FIOA request, I couldn't get nothing. I requested a 900-page document from the FBI. I got an email saying you need to email this department, so I had to email a different department. It'll be a while before I even get that. But you cannot get the police uh a report or nothing like that. You can get the incident report. I believe that the uprising podcast did get the incident report, but you can't get anything pertaining to the investigation. And from what I'm understanding, is that they never did any cell phone data, any pinging. No, they didn't. They're not looking for the last person they called, the text messages or nothing like that.
Yeah, I was going to mention that because even when with the fire, with the fire, what that symbolizes a lot of things, and what it does is it wipes out a lot of stuff like, you know, the cell phone would be burnt up,
Mhm.
fingerprints, anything like that, documents or whatever, what have not. But
Yeah.
that's basically wiping out a lot of evidence. So like I said, it's a real effort to conceal something, but it's also to me a warning,
Mhm.
a big silence. 'Cause like you said, he wasn't the only one, there were a few others before him,
Mhm.
that worked on the same thing, and
Yep.
based on what he did, he was a powerful voice, and he had the people behind him as well. So,
Just like who? Tupac
Tupac,
Shakur.
not a
And that
public icon.
and ironically, that was his favorite artist. Well, Tupac was his favorite. Ironically. It's crazy work.
Hmm.
Okay, guys. Shaking my
This is
head.
Tony Taylor. She's the mother of Kerry Ball Jr., the young black man who was shot 25 times by the St. Louis Metropolitan Police after a high-speed chase back in 2013. She is describing meeting Darren Seals for the first time during the Ferguson protests.
And so when he got down off the ledge, I went over there and I tapped him on his shoulder. I was finna say, "Hi, Darren, I'm Carrie's mom," but he seen my poster. So he instantly said, "You Carrie's mother?" And it just blew up from there. He was like, and that's why you see the hand in the face, because it's like the police started trying to rush at us, and he like, "No, back up, this a mother." And it just, we grew. Like I told his mom, I looked at him as like my son. Him and Carrie was the same age. They was born in the same year. They just months apart. It was his energy. And then the things that he said to Carlos, he was like, "You still got a big brother."
Carlos is Carlos Ball, Kerry Ball's younger brother. He was with his mother outside the Ferguson Police Department that night when they heard Darren telling the crowd about Kerry.
He said, I was trying to tell you how this happened. And Darren looked over and he saw her. He was like, "This is who I've been telling y'all about, Kerry Ball. This is his mom. Like, if we'd have stood up like this last year, like we doing right now, we probably wouldn't be here."
Carlos and Darren formed a close friendship that lasted the rest of Darren's life. Carlos told us that Darren had a lot of plans for how he thought he could help uplift the community.
Darren was trying to come up with some type of like platform similar to what Real SEL News is now, but like incorporating music, podcasts, and different stuff of that nature, but just getting our true stories out. He was trying to just create like our own platform just for the people, brand by the people. He was for his people. He was for his people, and he was literally the true essence of Malcolm X by any means necessary.
After Darren's murder, Tony Taylor met Darren's mother, Bonnie,
That was
and
the
they
problem.
formed a friendship.
I didn't
Yep.
meet his mother
I agree.
the first year after losing him. I think I met her a year or two later. But Darren had told me about his mom, that, she was on dialysis. She didn't really believe in the protesting and all of that until she went out there one day and seen it for herself. Now that me and her is closer, she told me this, and she was like, "I didn't want my son." She was like, "I was so scared for him." But do you know what? From the time that Darren took out to those streets, he was confiding in his mother that he knew the police was going to kill him. And he was preparing her. She said mostly every day when they would talk, Darren would tell her, "All right, Mom, I told you, be prepared. They are going to try to kill me."
That was somebody's child.
For the struggle from out of line. I see my dog at the soul is on it. From the fully, but it's what is on it. We better
They try to burn the proof, but the soul survive. You can kill the body, can't kill the pride. Yeah, from Ferguson nights to the world
stage cry. He spoke for the lost where the sirens lie. Hands up united, we remember the rise. They sold our pain, we reclaimed our ties. He warned us they profit off the pain we bleed. They take our fight, then they plant their seed. But we the roots, can't cut this creed. Every block, every street, still believe. Yeah. They try. But the truth still rise. Flames hit the sky, but the soul survive. You can kill the body, can't kill the pride. Say his name, Darren Seals. 9 miles north, where the smoke met the dawn. Another black king turned martyr gone, but his voice still marches when the beat comes on. Every word he spoke still turned to song. Mary only said, son, they follow me. Now his story shine brighter than a million stars. From the ashes rose night with the truth and the stars. The city still echoes, know who we are. We don't fall, we don't break. We the storm they couldn't fake. From the fire we awake. St. Louis stand up, we still shake the gate. Shake the gate. They try burn the proof up, but the truth still rise. Flames hit the sky, but the soul survive. You can kill the body, can't kill the pride. Say his name, Darren Seals. From the smoke, from the sirens, from the lies they told, the fire in them, it lit the world. Long live the movement, long live the truth. Long live Darren Seals.
Baby, it ain't about me, about these babies. It's about our people, about protecting our women. And about the kids, man. Straight up. We can't leave them in this mess. If we leave them in this mess, they're gonna have to fight for it. The same way our people left us in this shit.
St. Louis don't know who I am, bro. Every cop in this city know who I am, bro. They trying to scare me into not speaking to me because they don't want a motherfucker to tell the truth. Because it ain't the fact that when I'm not the only one saying this shit, but people actually listen when I say it. And they scared of that because they want niggas to be in the hood, killing each other on that bullshit. Listen, when I was selling dope in the hood, you saw so dope on urine. They ain't never did that to me.
Pull out, point the guns at me. You seen the whole thing, right? They point guns on me and my 14-year-old little brother. It's Ferguson PD. They pull guns on me and my little brother. They run to the car, they pull them out, grab me by my hair, slam me out the car. Why every time they see one of us, all of a sudden we become super ninjas? Mike Brown was the Hawk, he Flash. They gonna have Spider-Man jumping on cable cars. You know? not let them get away with it. And they're gonna keep on doing it to other people. You know what I mean? You gotta stand for something. Even if it costs you your life, you're gonna die anyway. Ain't no fear in our blood. You know, we especially ain't scared of them.
Instead of using the white man's tools and the white man's money to spread us even further apart. Because truth be told, Ferguson was one of the biggest and most powerful thing we had in a long time to us. Parents was fighting each other. Just fighting over food, just fighting over positions, just fighting over who's who.
Lot of killing going on in my neighborhood. And I can't get no sleep. Cause when you're out and niggas sleeping, they ain't good for you. This shit can't get deep. Lot of people getting found in my neighborhood. This shit can't get deep. If you ever ride around in this neighborhood,
In the spirit of God, in the spirit of the ancestors, in the spirit of the Black Panthers. But look.
Let's run this back.
That's the
Again,
reason why
she
these
also
guys
said
still
the
getting
fire
out
was
of
so
home, bro.
intense
I
that
can't
only
press
his
y'all 'cause y'all
skeleton
be all
and a few
grown men.
fingers were left to
I want y'all
identify
to
him.
see.
Yet within hours,
I just
authorities
remember when
publicly confirmed his name. Anyone familiar with forensic work knows DNA and dental matches take days. So how did they know so quickly? Did they truly identify him through evidence or assumption? That question still haunts me because it doesn't make sense. The investigation that followed raised more questions than it answered. Witnesses described hearing a loud boom before seeing the flames. One woman told reporters she thought something had exploded. In the podcast after the uprising, you can hear her voice. She says she heard the blast, looked outside, and saw the orange glow lighting up the sky. That sound wasn't the kind of small pop you'd expect from a car fire. It was a concussive burst, something meant to erase evidence. Firefighters arrived within minutes of the 911 call, but even then they found bullet casings scattered around the vehicle, evidence left in plain sight for hours. No perimeter was properly secured. No canvas for shell casings beyond the immediate area was done. It was as if whoever committed the murder had time to finish their work, walk away, and watch the investigation fumble from afar.
if I was the blood, and the blood no more, but growing up I was the blood. And I had these clips I was beating with. These cats I shot at, cats that shot at me. I mean, I'm out there with them side by side. And these cats, when I was 18, 19, I was shooting at. Now I'm 26, 27. They by my side fighting with me. You know, like brothers. You know what I'm saying? That was a beautiful feeling, man. Like I never experienced. I'm talking about thousands and thousands, no type of thousands of people coming in. And there's no one fighting.
Understand me now. If sometimes you see that I'm mad, don't you know no one alive can always be an angel? When everything goes wrong, you see some bad. But I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. You know, sometimes, baby, I'm so carefree, with a joy that's hard to hide.
Happy birthday, Debbie. Look, guys, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
To this day, the department never released a full crime scene log or ballistic report to the public. The FBI had already been tracking Darren. They knew his movements, his associates, his threats received, and his warnings about infiltration. And yet, when he was murdered, there was no federal intervention, no follow-up press conference, no task force, only silence. Which leads me to my next question. Were they complicit?
Now, back to the show.
I do know that there's a lot of sentiment in the community that they want justice, they want the truth, and we hope to give that to them.
This is Benjamin Granda of the St. Louis County Police speaking to the media.
We can't do it alone, so we're hoping that friends, family members, acquaintances, or just any members of the community can come forward and help us out with this, with any information they may have.
Also representing the St. Louis County Police, Sergeant Sean McGuire was more blunt.
At this point, we don't have anything, and that's where we're at the brick wall. You know, is we're waiting for evidence, we're waiting for just clues.
We were able to get the incident report regarding Darren's death, but that didn't reveal much.
I'm really trying to figure out how they are waiting on evidence when they left half the evidence at the scene. They left car doors, bullet casings, everything at the scene. So how are you waiting on evidence when you left it? You'll see in this
CCTV.
Yeah, you're gonna see, if you haven't already seen, in this video, which is almost over with, guys. They left the car door, the Jeep door at the scene. You got people, pedestrians out there picking up bullets, collecting them in baggies, taking pictures. Y'all left the evidence.
Contaminating the crime scene.
On purpose. On purpose. You ain't waiting on no damn evidence. Y'all left it. You ain't want it.
Beyond when the 911 call came in and where his burning car was found. So we called the St. Louis County Police to see if we could get any further information.
So what are you looking for? And I'm trying to pull up Darren Seals, but I may not be spelling it right. We get a lot of cases, and this doesn't jump out at me. So
yeah, totally. So and it was back in 2016. It's Seals, S-E-A-L.
Even.
Yeah.
Okay, even more so then that wouldn't stand out to me. So, okay, let's see.
S-E-A-L-S. Yeah, it was in Riverview, September 6, 2016, burning Jeep. He was shot.
I vaguely remember that. All right.
And I also just wanted to call and introduce myself because we had previously, I think, on season 1, when we were looking at a different case, it was Sergeant Granda who was, I think, in your position. So I just wanted to kind of call and say hi and let you know who we are.
I'm being extra polite because if you listen to season 1 of our show, you'd know that our relationship with the St. Louis County Police wasn't the best. And I'm trying to repair that. So there's no reason for them to keep us from accessing information we might need to solve Darren's case. The officer I'm speaking with, Sergeant Tracy Panis, is new to the post, which fortunately gave us a fresh start with the department.
Yes, now I've got this report opened up, and I do remember this one. Yeah, this is still an open and active investigation, so there's really nothing that we can share in it, unfortunately. So, yeah, there's really not much that we can do with it. I will touch base with our the investigator, the detective on this, and make sure there's nothing new.
With the case still officially open, the police weren't going to give us anything. So we began reaching out to people who knew Darren and who'd gone to the scene of his murder immediately after it happened.
I not only walked up to cars, but I had knocked on doors also. And a lot of people were scared to even say anything. I don't know why they were scared. It was me and some other brothers that was walking up and knocking on doors and walking up to cars. And a lot of people wasn't trying to talk to us for real.
This is Lala Moore. She's an activist in Ferguson, and she knew Darren. Based on what she knew of his character, she had certain suspicions about his killer.
I believe that whoever did it knew him, and Darren knew them, made him comfortable for them to pull it off like that. Because Darren wouldn't go nowhere with nobody, no random person that he don't know. I believe whoever it was close to him, because ain't no way you gonna let a stranger get in your car and you just talking and...
Do you think it's possible that there was an infiltrator that was trying to corner Darren because he was so visible?
Me personally, I think the police had something to do with it because of the lack of them trying to help find the killer or killers. You should have seen the crime scene. Everything was still there. Everything was still there. Shells, bullet shells, all this stuff was still at the crime scene. Either somebody close to him or the police did it. Darren was finna expose some police activities. He had got pulled over by Ferguson Police Department and got thrown to the ground, him and his little brother.
This incident that Lala is referring to, in which Darren was pulled over by the police, was actually captured on video by a bystander who filmed it with their phone.
That's another thing, Auntie Leah.
Hey, bro,
A few bullets.
He going live on both.
Bullet shells.
Get Ferguson PD.
It was more than a few. It was like 7 of them.
So nobody heard 7 pew pew shots? Just a boom?
That stuff was brought there and dumped there.
My Lord.
It was actually powed at a different location. That stuff was dumped there. The police probably knew it and they left it out there.
That's the only reason to back up why they ain't really tuning in to the investigation, because it basically would lead them nowhere.
Exactly. Because they knew it wouldn't. It was brought there. They left. I've never seen a crime scene except Tupac Shakur's. Remember? The bullet shells was in the streets and people were running over it. They just left the shells all in the streets and it got all contaminated. They did that on purpose. They was ran over. Some of them went down into the drain. Remember? And the ones they could retrieve didn't have no evidence on it because they was contaminated. They left it at the crime scene. They did the same thing to Tupac. It just reminds me so much of what they did to Tupac. But this time they didn't do it it wasn't broad daylight with Pac, but it was out in the open, right? They didn't do it that way because technology is so advanced. They can't do it that way now.
To me, even the style of doing it this way, it also shows you how it really is a warning, because it's like anywhere, anytime, any place, we ready to collect you.
Yeah, look what they.
We will collect you.
Yep, look what they did to Danye Jones. Came in the boy's house, left the brick by his bed. His mama picked up the brick. Remember? Went outside to take the brick outside. Look to the left, look up. There's her baby hanging in the tree. The police ruled a homicide within an hour. I mean, not homicide, a suicide within an hour. Wouldn't investigate it further. Why? Because they did it. They did it. Her
Take
her
a
and her and Darren Seals was like this. They were very close.
mm-hmm.
So they didn't get her, but to get to her, they got her baby. And it's not. And she hasn't even told me. She just keeps saying it's more to this. It's more to this. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying not to think about it because this is what they did. Is what is making me sick, right? So I try not to ask her a lot of questions. I try not to bother her because she's really sick.
Yeah.
But she keeps saying, I got to get better because I want to expose. I got to get better because there's so much to it. There's so much more. I only can find what I can find on the net, but imagine being there. Somebody
Yeah.
that was witness to it. Somebody they thought that was such a threat that they took her son and hung him up in the backyard and rolled his pants down for a humiliation ritual.
Hmm.
This stuff is nuts. It's crazy work, guys. I didn't never think this stuff was going on.
This is how it is when real really gets real.
Mm-hmm. And he wasn't the last. And unfortunately, he still ain't the last. Stuff is still happening.
Some of the detectives on left. Look at this. Now, explain them what happened, bro. Now I'm giving my version. Now we up here at the dialysis center on West Florida. So the dialysis center. We up here on dialysis center on West Florida.
This is him explaining.
Everybody know
Okay.
me now. I drive a Jeep.
So this is
me and my baby
him
brother. He 14.
where he's explaining the incident that about 10 police pulled him over and told him that the FBI told him to do it. The FBI told him to pull him over. And I believe in my heart, if that 14-year-old boy wasn't in the car with Darren, they would have planted something on him. They would have planted something on him. But it was witnesses out there. And his 14-year-old brother was with him. Crazy work.
Years old. So we turned in some paperwork for my mother. She's in the hospital right now. So I turned in some paperwork for my little brother. As I'm pulling off, I get pulled over right here. They pull out, pointed guns at me. You seen the whole thing, right? They pointed guns on me and my 14-year-old little brother. It's Ferguson PD. They pulled guns on me and my little brother. They run up to the car. They pull them out, grab me by my hair, slam me out the car, put me in cuffs, search my car illegally without my permission.
Yeah, I seen it. That's
I gave them no permission to search my vehicle. I told them they don't have consent to search my vehicle. They searched my vehicle anyway. Then they pull me off the ground. They making calls to the detective. The detectives come. They search my car. There's nothing in there. They say, "Did you go to the Trump rally?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You post some shit about Trump on Facebook?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "What's that illegal now?" He said, "No, there's nothing wrong with that, but you might want to pick your enemies better." I said, "What do you mean by that?" He said, "Some people quote unquote called in and said I slang a lot of dope, I make a lot of money, and I post this against Trump." I said, "It's bullshit. Everyone who follow my page knows I work 6 days a week. Right. What drug dealer you know gonna be a public activist? You know what I'm saying? So this ain't about selling no drug. This is about they're trying to pump fear into us young black men who got balls to stand up against people like Trump, people like Hillary, people like all these motherfuckers." But interview this brother, cause he could tell you his version. Cause I don't even know this man. What's your name?
Darren.
Darren. I'm Darren. He's seen the whole thing.
I seen him when I was pulling up to take my son to YMCA. I pulled up, I see him pulling off. Next thing you know, I see all detective cars come from behind him and come from the front. I see one detective get out the car, point his gun at the young man right here, or whatever. They tell him to get out the car. They snatched him up out the car first, you know what I'm saying? They snatched him up out the car. Then snapped both of them on the ground. Had them both sitting over there and searched his car. I came back, I seen them standing up. I guess they trying to find drugs or whatever. They didn't find nothing, so they let them go. The first thing that they find is they ain't got nothing else to do with their life, man. Do what Ferguson do all day long.
Well, look, they know who sell drugs. They know what's going on. They did all of this talking about Facebook and Donald Trump. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they called it tow truck. I thought they was gonna try.
Ain't no towing shit. Motherfucker, my license right, my registration right. I ain't got no warrants.
Then on top of that, little bro, you 14?
He's 14 years old. They pulled a gun on him, pulled him out the car, and put him in cuffs. He's 14 years old. That's some bullshit.
He was talking about trauma.
But look. I'm glad you seen it, brother. And I'm glad you stopped too. Cause we can't let this shit ride.
Yeah, man.
I'm getting a lawyer. I'm calling a lawyer today. We on their ass. I'm get your information. They ain't because they do this shit because we allow them to get away with it. But it ain't going down like that, bro.
That's all it is. That's all we need is people to come together like us young black men come together and do everything by the book. And that way they can't get away with shit like this. Because if we don't do it by the book and let them get away with it, they're going to continue.
And I'm glad you witnessed the whole thing.
They're going to continue to do it.
We don't know it's you just so happen to be passing by, and you was passing by too. And you seem perfect, man.
So
good,
I told my girl, I'm like, that look like D said.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait.
And then they said, who are you? You so popular. They told me you got shot 7 times. I'm like, damn, how you know? So y'all already doing y'all research on me. Y'all already know who I am. So why you even acting like it's some drugs? You know it ain't no drug dealing involved. You know I don't sell drugs. You know exactly who I am. So you know I don't sell. You know I don't sell drugs. They know me from Mike Brown. They know me from being against Trump. And I'm against all you motherfuckers. Let's be clear. It ain't about just Trump. Because I feel like Trump the only motherfucker that's just honest. You want to be perfectly fine. But it's not just Trump. I'm against white supremacy. I'm against all the motherfuckers. But
driving in your neighborhood,
driving in my community,
your
picking up something, not for my mother. My mother's in the hospital right now. She's been in hospital for a week. She had a blood transfusion. Like, I'm turning paperwork for my mother. And these motherfuckers literally pulled me over, slammed me on the ground, grabbed me by my head, put guns on my face, put guns on my brother's face. All because of Trump. Because I might post about Trump. Because I did some activism against the Trump rally. Nah, man, it ain't going down like that, bro.
You all day, dude.
They had to be, bro.
In order for them to know where your location is and all that. So get up out there.
And they say
it's a very powerful
this is the only excuse was they said they don't know what's going on. They just know that the detectives wanted me pulled over.
What you say, Temper?
I said this is a very powerful something this live be doing right now, because he exposed so much. Because I mean, the mere fact that coming out of the place where you know CCTV's in there, so the fact that he's coming out of there now, this is happening, so it have to be a boots on the ground inside there, you know. So I'm like, this is so surreal. And then the person said you have to be careful of your enemies, you know. He's saying so much, but people think the clues ain't there. But I mean, if you listen to what this young brother's saying, he's literally giving you the story. Just put it together.
Yep. He's speaking the truth in plain sight. Just think about it.
Yeah.
He said, I'd rather have Trump as president. This is the black man said, I'd rather have Trump as the president, because at least I know he's honest. He's true to who he is. So if he's saying I'd rather have Trump as the president, who is he secretly exposing as the true enemies? The Democrats.
Yeah.
The Democrats is what.
He ain't pulling no punches.
Is who I know he's talking about, just based off research. And then that Delray McKesson, he was so close to the Democrats. He was definitely a plant. They planted Black Lives Matter. They planted them people in Ferguson to spin the narrative.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, what I'm gonna say, based on what he's saying, you know, it makes my mind reflect on, you know, the positions in which, you know, Black people, you know, are basically put in a corner. Because I remember, you know, someone says it's like projects, you know, and then I think about you literally have a show. I don't know if it's still airing, where, you know, they would leave a nice car in a Black neighborhood, leave the keys in it, and, you know, the minute someone, it's like, and then slam cases on these young brothers' head. And I'm like, I see what this young brother's saying. This exploitation, this really been going on for years and years and years. And, you know, it's really time someone put a stop there.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit deeper too. Let's go back to the root. Mike Brown, 18-year-old. Okay, so he was in a gas station. He stole a box of cigarillos. All right, everybody want to make a big deal out of that. So he stole the box of cigarillos. I don't know if you guys saw that. That was a part of this film in here. Um, and was walking back home. And all of a sudden, Darren Wilson, this white police officer that was solo dolo, starts harassing these kids. He was 18 years old, and his friend Dorian, which is all of a sudden he's unalive too. There's no witnesses no more to whatever this was, right? Um, and then he shoots the kid after he pulls on him. Mike's like, no, get off me or whatever. We'll be where we going in a minute, right? So he gets a tussling with the kid. The kid, he's huge, right? He's over 6 feet. He's big, kind of like my son, which kind of scares me a little bit, but I gotta stay in faith. Uh, and then they start to run, and so he shoots the kid. And he turns around, and here's the thing: in the beginning, everybody was saying he put his hands up, and he continued to shoot, and then he fell forward, and then he still was shooting. That's how he got shot in the top of his head. Now, because people were coming up unalived, you know what I'm saying? People were coming up threatening unalived. They talked the witnesses into changing their stories. So people got scared and wouldn't come forward. And then they changed their stories and said, well, I don't know if he had his hands up. I didn't see. Oh, I think I saw him. He had his hands up for a minute, and then he started running towards the police officer. Okay, Mr. Police Officer, if you saw this big kid running towards you, I'm sure he's not fast because he's huge. Not only is he tall, he's big. Why didn't you retreat back into your truck and call for backup if that's the case, if you feared for your life? No, you proceed to unload on this kid. And the reason why he fell wasn't because he was charging you with his head down. It's because he was falling forward. So I'm trying to figure out how he got away with it. How did he get indicted? To me, it was all a setup. To me, everything was set up, in my opinion. All right, guys, I'm sorry. It's almost done. I promise. This is so much into it. I couldn't even put everything. The video is already long. I'm like, okay, this gonna have to be a few parts. Just like Danye has some more stuff. Oh my God, that we need to talk about him, as well as we need to talk about in debt Mike Brown, as well as we need to talk about oh my God, DeAndre Joshua. There's so many of them.
Well, Auntie Leah, if people could run on for weeks and weeks and weeks on air, I mean, when it comes to highlighting the truth about this young man's life, hey, if you got to do a part two. I mean, the people need to know. That's the thing about truth telling. You just can't leave nothing out. You gotta let the light out.
I only got through one episode of the podcast, guys. I'm still listening to this stuff in shock. Every time I turn around, something's popping up. Like, dang, that too? Oh my God, I can't put that in there yet because the video is already long. So let's just wrap it up. Let's just get through it, and then I'll work on another part for part two.
Man.
It's more to the story.
Yeah,
It's more
definitely.
to it. Okay.
But they couldn't even explain who, when, or why. They say your enemies better. They say pick your enemies better. Get this. That's the motherfucker that did it.
With the black shirt.
That's what I'm saying. They had to follow you. Actually know who was there. For them to jump down on you.
Or they might have just seen me. I mean, this they area they be in, so when they seen my Jeep, they seen, so you can look through the Jeep and see my hair, you see who I am. I mean, they got it where they can just read your place while you ain't even by them, you know what I mean? So they read my place and they knew who it was. But they talking about selling some drugs. Ain't no selling no drugs, but guess what? I'm on y'all ass. I believe that. I'm on y'all ass. This ain't riding. I ain't scared of shit. Ain't no pumping no fear in my blood, homie. Talking about, man, they don't with the right one. Just know that. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, bro.
I guess it's considered Ferguson.
Appreciate you. You good, little bro?
And they got.
Appreciate you, bro. Thanks, little man. See you later, little man. Little man. Let me get your number.
Like 5, 6. And Jump Out Boys police car.
Right before his death, Darren was in talks with people tied to Rock Nation, Jay-Z's entertainment company. Multiple sources confirmed this, and the podcast after the uprising later revisited those conversations. Darren wasn't chasing fame. He was exploring how to get his music and his message to a larger audience. But he had deep suspicions about the industry's intentions. He told close friends that the same forces trying to help him were the ones watering down the revolution. Now, we all have heard how nefarious Jay-Z can be. Darren's intuition was accurate and on point. He called it the Black Death business. They profit off our funerals, he said. They sell our struggle like merchandise. Darren had been publicly confronting prominent figures within the National Black Lives Matter network, accusing them of mismanaging funds and partnering with liberal donors who wanted branding, not justice. He even confronted activist turned celebrity DeRay McKesson face to face, calling him out for fraud and deception. When McKesson smirked in his face, Darren slapped him, not out of ego, but anger. Anger that the movement for which people were dying was being hijacked in broad daylight. I would have loved to be a fly on the wall that day. Behind the scenes, money was moving. Darren, Nyota Uhura, and a handful of grassroots activists were tracing donation streams, from nonprofits to consulting groups to entertainment partners. They found evidence of grants issued in Ferguson's name that never reached local families. There were charities and allied organizations raising money under the guise of helping Michael Brown's family, yet the Brown family said they never received a cent. One such organization, Resource Generation, claimed to have raised $200,000 for frontline organizing in Ferguson in late 2014 and over $1 million for Black-led organizing the following year. But they admitted they never once contacted the Brown family. That was the pattern Darren wanted to expose, the commodification of grief. The people living in the neighborhoods where tanks rolled in were never the ones profiting from the aftermath. When MTV hosted a panel about Ferguson featuring 5 black speakers and a white ally organizer, no one from Ferguson itself was invited. Nyota texted him that night, "Ferguson without Ferguson again." They were shut out.
And I swear to God, something happened to my video. All this, it's like I accidentally deleted a part and it got everything unaligned. You got people, you got me talking to other people. It's just nuts, but you know what? Whatever. The devil's a lie. I don't even care. I don't even know what happened with this.
And the movement was hijacked by Black Lives Matter. This was the heart of Darren's final investigation.
Crazy.
He wasn't just fighting racism in policing. He was uncovering how corporations and elites had turned revolution into marketing. And when people started asking about the money trail,
let me see if it gets better. I have no idea.
To make
was found executed. Now, the reason why we say he was executed is because we're going to leak out the details of how this brother was killed.
In that music. I didn't choose that nefarious music.
He is not the first brother that's been executed in this same manner. Now, last week on this program, we interviewed Sister Nyota.
That devil didn't want this out.
Darren Seals was like this. And that man spoke the same message that she spoke in that interview. If you have not seen the interview, go back and check it out. We'll put a card up on the screen so you can go ahead and look at the interview in its entirety. But I want you to first watch the little clip that's going to come from the local news. So let's go roll that clip.
Information about this morning's discovery of a body in a burning car that we first brought you as breaking news on News 4 this morning. St. Louis County Police now tell us it was the body of a man inside the burned car and that he had been shot. Happened in Riverview on Diamond Drive about 2 o'clock this morning. But that's all. Police are saying at this point until they notify the man's family. Well, someone, though, who lives in the area tells News 4 she heard a boom before the car was discovered burning.
Y'all see that?
She also says it's not unusual to see police activity.
Look at all that stuff they left out there. The tire.
But it's always something going on over there. Drug dealing, people getting into it. The police is always called, all times of night. And it's always the late part of the night all the time when they're called.
That neighbor tells us she will soon be installing a surveillance camera outside of her home. The bomb and arson unit is still investigating. Of course, Counter News 4 to keep you posted on details.
Look, that's Delray McKesson right there. Look who he's with. That's one of the heads up, the higher ups in Black Lives Matter. That's Beyonce.
Okay.
Jay-Z, Beyonce, come on, man. The conspiracy is deep. The conspiracy is deep. Why does everybody that gets in talks with Rock Nation and declines Rock Nation, why do they come up unalived or blackballed?
Good question.
Look at her. She looked like a witch with a B. Just look at her. He a joke.
He even confronted activist turned celebrity DeRay McKesson face to face, calling him out for fraud and deception. When McKesson smirked in his face, Darren slapped him, not out of ego, but anger. Anger that the movement for which people were dying was being hijacked in broad daylight. I would have loved to be a fly on the wall that day.
Both of them. They are not for us. They are not our people. You need to stop listening to this bull crap. This is a lie. This is not the truth. Do not believe what they're telling you. You touch me, I will hit you so hard, your brain will shatter. Listen to what I'm saying. D-Ray, you know. Lexus, you know. You ain't no part of us. Stop using us. You have to make money constantly off us. Do not shut up. Nobody turn me around. Turn me around. Turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking. Keep on talking.
Behind the scenes, money was moving. Darren, Nyota Uhura, and a handful of grassroots activists were tracing donation streams, from nonprofits to consulting groups to entertainment partners. They found evidence of grants issued in Ferguson's name that never reached local families.
That was just in the police face. That is, what's his name? Basri? I forgot his name off the top of my head. But he was the one, he is the activist that was found on the bus unalived from a fentanyl overdose.
Wow.
He's dead too. And allied organizations raising money under the guise of helping Michael Brown's family. Yet the Brown family said they never received a cent. One such organization, Resource Generation, claimed to have raised $200,000 for frontline organizing in Ferguson in late 2014 and over $1 million for Black-led organizing the following year. But they admitted they never once contacted the Brown family. That was the pattern Darren wanted to expose, the commodification of grief. The people living in the neighborhoods where tanks rolled in were never the ones profiting from the aftermath. When MTV hosted a panel about Ferguson featuring 5 black speakers and a white ally organizer, no one from Ferguson itself was invited. Nyota texted him that night, "Ferguson without Ferguson again." They were shut out, and the movement was hijacked by Black Lives Matter. This was the heart of Darren's final investigation.
These motherfuckers pull me over, slam me, put guns in my brother's face, all that. They got me so fucked up. I ain't even mad about me, dog. They put a fucking gun in my brother's face and put him in cuffs like he's a fucking nigga. My little brother ain't nobody's nigga. Lock it in, bro. I'm hot, bro. I'm thinking about my brother, man. That shit got me so fucking hot, man. This shit got me so fucking hot, and that's why I go so hard. That shit put a gun in a 14-year-old face like it ain't nothing. Go to Westview. You probably know his son.
You know, Malik, Sherry Hunter, somebody like that. Yeah,
303.
Sherry Hunter, yeah.
303, that's me, Darren. Lock it in, bro. Hey, I'm gonna be getting in touch with you though, so my lawyer get on this shit, they gonna know, like, it's a witness that seen that shit, you know. This ain't like no street shit, it ain't snitching if it's the police, you know what I mean? This ain't no street, this ain't street shit, you know what I'm saying?
It's real shit.
Real shit. And this so he don't gotta go through this shit later on, you know what I mean?
You gotta realize that when you see a whole bunch of police officers on black people, you gotta realize
You gotta pull over and watch that shit, yeah. Motherfuckers ride by, be scared. Every time I see that shit, I pull over. What's up, little bro? I see them downtown fucking with 3 dudes younger than him. I pull up, like, what's up, little bro? He like, you know them? I said, yeah, they're my nephews. I don't even know them. I'm like, yeah, they're my nephews. He left.
That's what I'm saying.
They fuck with us. They fuck with our young men because they feel like us men won't stand up. But they want to try to come pick on me because they know I don't play this shit. They know I'm one of the ones gonna stand up. But you can keep on fuck on me, baby. They're going to have to kill me for me to stop. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll die behind mine.
Straight up. That's how I am with mine.
All right, bro. All right, thanks, bro. Hit me up. You too, man.
And they knew they was gonna have to kill him. They knew they was gonna have to kill him.
Man, these motherfuckers got me fucked up. Man. Oh, man, I'm suing
When you love the people and the people love you.
They got me so fucked up. Man, mad ain't the fucking word, bro. They got me so pissed off, man. These motherfucking white boys think they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. Yeah, cause I'm thinking like, did I not play a ticket? But like, I'm thinking like he said when he put me on, he said, this ain't no normal stop. So I'm thinking like, damn, this ain't no normal stop. I ain't so dope in years. So I'm knowing, like, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't so dope in so long. I'm kind of like, I had a backflash, like, they really on some shit. Like, I ain't in the streets no more, so what they on? But I should have known it was behind some shit like that, man.
They told this man that it wasn't no normal stop. They told this man that they was ordered to stop him. They wanted to put him in fear. They wanted to put this man in fear. They wanted to shake him up. They wanted to ruffle his feathers. They wanted to put a gun on his 14-year-old brother, if you want to think about it, because they know that his 14-year-old brother is his heart. That's his brother is the reason that he survived the shots the first time. If you were here for the first video while we was waiting on this one, and he was telling his testimony how he was just laying there after he was shot up with the bullets, and then he thought about his brother, and he thought about, what will my brother do without me? What would he do right now if I would die? His brother is the most important person in his whole life. And it's so messed up because I got a part in here, a stat from Byron. And Byron is his brother. He's 24 now. Is he 24? Well, he's 14. He's 22. Yeah, he's 22 now. And he's still messed up. He's like, I wish God would have took me instead of my brother. Why he lost his mom, and he lost his dad, he lost his brother. He's so alone.
Oh, yeah,
And it's heartbreaking. His name is Byron Seals. Man, the things they do to destroy people.
We good, man. These motherfuckers.
22.
Something else, man.
It might be 24.
I gotta call my lawyers to get this shit right though. I'm glad they just pulled over and watched the whole thing though, because a lot of times we be by ourselves out here and the police be getting shit off on us. But it ain't going down today. Like they could have pulled me over and asked me a question. They wanted to know who I was and
they already knew
my political views and all of that. But they ain't do that. They pulled me over, put guns in my face, put guns in my brother's face, and slammed me on the fucking ground.
Right.
It's crazy because they did all of this because I made posts about Trump. I be telling people all the time, man, they following my pages, they watch me, they got me under surveillance. And then, you know, I don't mind that though, because I know what my enemies are. You know, I know the game, I know what my enemies is, I know what I'm up against. But my biggest problem, it be when the same people I stand for and fight for, when they fight against me, they want to come argue, they want to come defend these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers will blow your fucking head off. They will kill me, my brother. They will kill your grandmama. They don't give a fuck about us. So when there's somebody that got balls to stand up against them, y'all supposed to support them at all costs. You don't gotta agree with anything I say, but the support and love gotta be real, because these motherfuckers at war with us. If they'll do that all because I made posts and spoke against Trump, then what you think they'll do? You know what I mean? When it's some real shit.
I really don't think that was it. I don't think that it was because I don't think the trigger was him speaking and making posts against Trump. I believe the trigger was he was very close to exposing the cover-up. I really believe that from the depths of my heart. He was very close, so they had to eliminate it. It wasn't because no Facebook post about Trump. It wasn't that at all. Everybody done made Facebook posts about Trump. Hell, I did too. Back in the day. Sure did. Everybody was. So it wasn't that.
No.
It wasn't that. Deep down inside, I know that he knew it wasn't that. But he couldn't expose everything. He was trying to drop, if you can listen to this man, he's dropping seeds, hints, all throughout. Every time he talks, he's dropping hints on who the real enemies are. It's a Democratic Party. They control it all the way up to the celebrities, the letter community, all that.
The fact that this was a small stop.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's them, the Democrats.
That's what they gonna learn. I ain't the one.
Allegedly.
For death,
YouTube allegedly.
Yeah, he was talking on Superman Cake.
Netta knew all this was untrue.
Hold on.
What they were pushing.
All right,
Why
so
did Netta?
This is his partner. I can't really pronounce her name, but this is it starts with an N-Y. I hate when I can't pronounce people's names. I'll look it up and show. Naruto? I think her name was Naruto. Hold on. But I'll let you listen to her. And this is credit to African Diaspora News Network. I love that channel. I get a lot of, deep things from, clips from their channel. And they don't mess with me for using their clips. And I thank the Lord for them. So I give them credit. All right. So I'm going to push this. I'm going to look up her name. Because I see it in my mind, but I can't pronounce it. So I want to show it to you.
Stand up and say, wait a minute, this isn't right, because our movement is based off all these people that you described. So how did she allow herself to get sucked into sound like COINTELPRO?
Being young, naive, you know what I'm saying? Wanting to be somebody. But I would say the biggest thing is probably ego. At this time they were telling the world these are the new Malcolms, the new Martins, the new Asadas, so she, along with other people, and it's not just Netta, they got caught up in this and they started believing their own hype.
So the question I have is what they're pushing now. And most people, if you go to Movement for Black Lives or Black Lives Matter, you can literally see what they're pushing. Why is it that the movement moved from, Black lives, their survival, police brutality, respecting us in our community, to now they have put in, according to what they have said, LGBT, they making that a issue. Israel versus Palestine, they making that an issue. And they literally, as you stated, using this black youth, but we all, old, young, are suffering. So how did they co-opt all that into Black Lives Matter when Black Lives Matter started off as police brutality?
Well, Black Lives Matter did not start off as police brutality. I don't know what they started off as. We started off as police brutality. That was Ferguson, that was us. You got to understand that the founders of Black Lives Matter, I mean, the story that people heard where you have these three sisters who, started this organization and they're fighting for black people, that's another false narrative. They weren't just three sisters sitting around who came up with a hashtag. They've been part of this huge nonprofit industrial complex for years, and tax records support this. This goes way back to before Trayvon.
You hear that? They've been a part of this organization for years. and tax records can prove that. These two were this close with exposing their behinds. This is his partner, Nyota Yorora. Can't say her real name. So all of this is a setup.
Aura.
Aurora. Okay. Set up. Just listen. All of a setup.
You know, they tried to do the same thing with the Trayvon Martin situation, and they weren't able to. So basically what they needed was a movement that black people were behind so that they could come and propel themselves to the forefront of that. And then once they got that notoriety and fame, then they could switch the narrative. And that's exactly what they did to us in Ferguson.
Why is Black Lives Matter important for the U.S. right now and in the world?
Black Lives Matter is our call to action. It is a tool to reimagine a world where black people are free to exist, free to live. It is a tool for our allies to show up differently for us. I grew up in a neighborhood that was heavily policed. I witnessed my brothers and my siblings continuously stopped and frisked by law enforcement. I remember my home being raided. And one of the questions as a child I had was why? Why us?
So,
Black Lives Matter offers...
First of all, let me say this. I had to heavily censor, modify this little clip that I'm showing you of these three women, the so-called founders of Black Lives Matters, because YouTube flagged it. And that's why my video's all messed up. I had to cut this out, cut that out. They really did not want me to post this video, even still finding stuff as we speak. Hit me with copyright. Copyright this, copyright. I'm like, dang, it's not gonna be a video. So I decided to risk it all. So here you are. I'm sorry about all of the hiccups in it. It's because I had to cut this out, cut that out, censor this, censor that. But we're not gonna stop. It is what it is. We're gonna learn what we can, listen, and it is what it is. The next video, I hope it's better, and I've learned on what YouTube would allow and what they won't. It's just, I don't care at this point. I'm still gonna post it.
Answers to the why. It offers a new vision for young black girls around the world that we deserve to be fought for, that we deserve to call on local governments to show up for us.
And anti-black And anti-black racism is not only happening in the United States, it's actually happening all across the globe. And what we need now more than ever is a human rights movement that challenges systemic racism in every single context. We need this because the global reality is that Black people are subject to all sorts of disparities in most of our most challenging issues of our day. I think about issues like climate change and how 6 of the 10 worst impacted nations by climate change are actually on the continent of Africa. People are reeling from all sorts of unnatural disasters, displacing them from their ancestral homes and leaving them without a chance at making a decent living. We also see disasters like Hurricane Matthew, which recently wreaked havoc in many different nations but caused the most damage to Haiti. Haiti is the poorest country in this hemisphere.
And you don't
care.
And
its inhabitants are Black people. And what we're seeing in Haiti is that they were actually facing a number of challenges that even preceded this hurricane. They were reeling from the earthquake. They were reeling from cholera that was brought in by UN peacekeepers and still hasn't been eradicated. This is unconscionable. And this would not happen if this nation didn't have a population that was Black. And we have to be real about that. But what's most heartening right now is that despite these challenges, what we're seeing is that there's a network of Africans all across the continent who are rising up and fighting back and demanding climate justice.
So, Alicia, you said that when black people are free, everyone is free. Can you talk about what that means?
Sure. So I think race and racism is probably the most studied social, economic, and political phenomenon in this country, but it's also the least understood. The reality is that race in the United States operates on a spectrum from black to white. Doesn't mean that people who are in between don't experience racism, but it means that the closer you are to white on that spectrum, the better off you are. And the closer to black that you are on that spectrum, the worse off you are. When we think about how we address problems in this country, we often start from a place of trickle-down justice. So using white folks as the control, we say, well, if we make things better for white folks, then everybody else is going to get free. But actually, it doesn't work that way. We have to address problems at the root. And when you deal with what's happening in black communities, it creates an effervescence, right? So a bubble up rather than a trickle down. Let me give an example. When we talk about the wage gap, we often say women make 78 cents to every dollar that a man makes. Y'all have heard that before. But those are the statistics for white women and white men. The reality is that black women make something like 64 cents to every 78 cents that white women make. When we talk about Latinas, it goes down to about 58 cents. If we were to talk about indigenous women, if we were to talk about trans women, it would even go farther down. So again, if you deal with those who are the most impacted, everybody has an opportunity to benefit from that, rather than dealing with the folks who are not as impacted, right? And expecting it to trickle down.
So I love the effervescence bubble.
So guys, it's almost over, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my original video, fix it, and I'm going to post a clean copy. So you won't have all of this overlapping, all this unalignment. So I apologize for that. YouTube's still messing with me. That's why you see me picking up my phone. I'm steady getting stuff. Copyright claim. Copyright claim. Your video can't be monetized. Your video is blocked. Your video is this. Y'all, it's correct. I wish I can show. I don't think y'all can see it. It's nuts. Leave me alone.
Effervescence, like champagne.
Exactly. Who doesn't love a glass of champagne, right? Champagne and freedom, right? More could we want, y'all? So you all have been doing this for a minute, and the last few years have been, well, I can't even imagine, but I'm sure very transformative. And I know that you all have learned a lot about leadership. What do you want to share with these people about what you've learned about leadership? Patrice, let's start with you.
Yeah, we have to invest in Black leadership. That's what I've learned the most in the last few years.
Wow.
What we've seen is thousands of Black people showing up for our lives with very little infrastructure and very little support. I think our work as movement leaders isn't just about our own visibility, but rather how do we make the whole visible? How do we not just fight for our individual selves, but fight for everybody? And I also think leadership looks like everybody
this is what I'm
in
gonna
this
do.
audience.
I'm going to speed this up a little bit to get it back to
leadership core.
Here, I want
every
the search of that.
How do you become that leader, whether it's in your workplace, whether it's in your home, and believe that the movement for Black lives isn't just for us, but it's for everybody.
Now, when the WikiLeaks emails were leaked about the Democratic National Convention emails, through the search of that, D-Ray's name kept coming up if you did a search in that, and even Black Lives Matter. So from my research, I knew something was troubling if they're the Democrats are that attached at the hip with D-Ray McKesson. Now, the question I have is, in the beginning, did the liberals come in and try to attach themselves with the Ferguson group?
Liberals, you mean Democrats?
Liberals, Democrats, they all the same.
Okay, Democrats played a huge role in everything that happened. It was a Democratic governor that sent the tanks out on us. It was Missouri Democrats you know, who were rallying the DOJ behind the scenes to quietly end the Michael Brown investigation. It was Democrats who stopped the recall efforts. See, we had demands, we had recall efforts, we had all of that stuff, you know, before Black Lives Matter got there. And another thing that people don't know is we had a black coalition before Black Lives Matter came to town. And that included everybody. You know, it was the Justice for Michael Brown Leadership Coalition, which was a lot of black organizations, politicians, independent people. That's what we had going on before Black Lives Matter came. When they came into the mix, they kind of splintered people up, you know, took a handful and just pushed everyone else to the side. So getting back to the Democrats, I mean, they have been probably one of the hugest hindrances to us getting justice.
Wow.
And yet,
to anything happening, the recall, you got to understand, Bob McCullough, the prosecutor, he's a Democrat. These are all Democrats. These are not Republicans.
Wait.
We are not fighting Republicans. These are all Democrats from the governor down.
Hold on.
So now you see why Darren Seals says, I'd rather have Donald Trump as a president, because at least, you know, he honest. At least I know who he is. You know, the Democrats is the ones that are covering up and hiding, right, and doing all these nefarious things in the background. So yeah, I learned a lot.
So the prosecutor, who's never convicted a police officer,
convicted a police officer,
literally
in over 20 years.
Literally set up everything for Darren Wilson to get off, and he was a Democrat.
Yes.
Okay, so this is why, as black people, we have to stop being so faithful to the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party actually want us to be a permanent underclass.
Oh, yes.
And you see how they monetize our pain, our misery, and our death.
They said I was angry. Damn right I was. I watched my city burn after Mike Brown. Felt tear gas in my lungs. Heard mother scream his name. We didn't march for fame. We marched because we were dying. Then came the cameras. The hashtags. The brand. 3 names. Alicia Garza, Patrice Cullors, Opal Tometi. They called themselves the founders of Black Lives Matter. But I ain't see them in Ferguson dodging rubber bullets. They had degrees and microphones. We had pain. They took our struggle and made it a slogan. We buried brothers while they built platforms. Millions poured in, but the hood never saw a dime. Families still begging for funerals, while BLM bought mansions. They said it was for the movement. I call it betrayal. They told me don't divide the cause. But what cause forgets its people? What revolution got a board of directors? You can't trademark freedom. You can't franchise pain. They called me paranoid when I said we were being hunted. Then they found me. Shot. Burned in my car. Case under investigation. Like always. And the movement went quiet. I ain't saying they started dirty. Maybe fame got louder than truth. Maybe checks got heavier than justice. But when you profit off pain, you answer to the ghost that built the fight. I was there when the world looked away. I died for this. And from the grave, I'm still asking, do black lives still matter when the lights go off? If the answer ain't yes in the dark, was never a movement. It was a hustle.
If it wasn't racism that killed Michael Brown, what was it? I believe Holder's investigation didn't go deep enough.
He wasn't just fighting racism in policing. He was uncovering how corporations and elites had turned revolution into marketing. And when people started asking about the money trail, when voices like Darren's threatened to make the quiet parts public, they disappeared. The similarities between his death and that of DeAndre Joshua 2 years earlier were impossible to ignore. DeAndre, only 20 years old, was found shot in the head inside a burning car on the night the grand jury refused to indict Darren Wilson for killing Michael Brown. 2 black men, both shot and burned in their vehicles, both tied to Ferguson activism, both cases unsolved. Later came more deaths. Marshawn McCarroll in Ohio, who shot himself outside the State House. Edward Crawford Jr., the man in the iconic tear gas photo, dead from an alleged self-inflicted gunshot. Bassem Masri, the Palestinian-American live streamer, found unresponsive on a bus. And then Danye Jones, the son of activist Melissa McKinney's, hanging from a tree in his own backyard. 6 young men with ties to Ferguson, all gone within 4 years. Officially, only 2 were ruled homicides, but the community knew better. Even elected officials fell silent. Wesley Bell, who rose to power on the energy of Ferguson's uprising, became St. Louis County prosecutor in 2019, promising reform. Yet he never pushed for new leads in Darren's murder. He never once held a press briefing about the case. In 2024, as he ran for Congress, activists accused him of abandoning the very movement that made him. Reports surfaced alleging mishandled cases and conflicts of interest, but by then, Bell had already distanced himself from Ferguson altogether. When I look at how quickly the establishment moved to bury Darren's story, I see more than negligence. I see design. The same system that surveilled him in life erased him in death. The same outlets that quoted him when it was convenient went mute when he became inconvenient. There was no national outrage, no trending hashtag, no celebrity tribute. Unlike when public figures die, Darren's assassination was met with algorithmic silence. That was the cover-up, erasure by omission. After Darren's death, the movement's heart went quiet for a while. The cameras left, the donations stopped. But one voice refused to let his name fade, Nyota Uhura, known online as the Big Girl for Life. She carried his mission forward even as the threats multiplied. Through her podcast Sleep is the New Woke and the Hands Up Don't Shoot website, she kept exposing the money trails, the infiltration, the way our pain had been packaged for profit. She reminded the world that Darren didn't die in a random act of violence. He died because he refused to sell out. Nyota often says, they killed the messenger, but not the message. She's right. Every time she speaks, she reminds us that liberation is more than a hashtag. It's accountability. It's asking who gets paid when we mourn. It's refusing to let corporations rewrite the story of Ferguson without Ferguson's people. She still faces harassment, digital stalking, shadow bans, but she keeps going. Because that's what Darren taught us. You fight until the truth outlives the lie. The fear in Ferguson never really left. Activists still receive anonymous threats, still watch cars trail them, still flinch when their phones buzz too long. Reverend Darrell Gray once opened his trunk and found a 6-foot python left there as a warning. Cori Bush, now a congresswoman, said someone fired into her car while her 13-year-old daughter sat inside. Others have had homes vandalized, tires slashed, names posted online by white supremacist forums. It's intimidation meant to make us forget, but memory is resistance. We live in a city where young Black men are 3 times more likely to live in poverty and far more likely to die young. In some parts of North County, life expectancy barely reaches 60. When you add constant surveillance, underfunded schools, and a justice system that punishes truth tellers, it's not just oppression, it's strategy. Darren saw that. He said Black Death is a business, and he was right. Each killing brings ratings, funding, new grants, new contracts, while families are left with candlelight vigils and GoFundMes. I think about his mother, Mary Otis, Bonnie to those who loved her, and how she carried that pain until her last days. I think about how she spoke through tears, remembering him calling every night just to ask if she was okay. She believed in her son's fight, even as she feared what would happen. And when she said, "He told me the police were going to kill him," she broke the silence that so many mothers carry. Mary Otis was part of this revolution too. There are still unanswered questions about the bullets that ended his life. How many, from what angle, why the casings were left behind. Questions about how investigators could identify a body that was mostly skeletal within hours. Questions about why his phone records, his FBI file, and key witness statements have never been released in full. Questions that linger like smoke over Diamond Drive. No one has ever been arrested. No one has ever been held accountable. But the truth refuses to stay buried. Darren's words, his warnings, his rhythm, they live on in every protest chant and every verse spit by a kid who refuses to stay silent. The fire that was meant to erase him became the torch we carry. He taught us that revolution isn't a moment. It's a lifetime of refusing to accept a lie. Many have walked those same streets where he stood. They've seen the murals fading on Canfield Drive and the names written in spray paint on cracked brick walls. Each one is a reminder. They can burn the car, they can kill the body, but they can't destroy the idea. Darren Seals Jr. was more than an activist. He was a mirror held up to America, forcing it to look at itself. So to everyone watching, listening, and feeling this story, understand. Justice isn't something we wait for. It's something we build, breath by breath, truth by truth. We owe it to Darren, to Mary, to Neota, to Daniel Jones, to Michael Brown, to every mother still waiting on a phone call that will never come. We owe it to the next generation that refuses to be afraid of fire. This is for the ones they tried to silence, for the hands still raised, for the voices that won't back down. The movement is alive, and so is the man who sparked it. This has been an Auntie Leah production. Justice for Darren Seals. Justice for all. And as the screen fades from the streets of Ferguson to the glow of that eternal fire, let the beat rise, not in mourning, but in power. Because they tried to burn the truth, but the truth still rides. This one's for every name they tried to erase, for every voice that refused to stay quiet. Say his name, Darren Seals Jr. The fire never died.
Don't shoot, we still here, still true. Ferguson to heaven's roof. The fire don't die, it moves. Don't shoot, every name still proof. From day to Mike to George. The fire don't die, it moves. They said I was too real for TV, too street for policy. But I bled for a city that refused apology. Tore the mask off justice, found monopoly. Black death on repeat, no equality. I seen the mamas praying bodies on concrete. Dreams drowning under police deceit. We shouted no peace, they labeled it hate. But every protest born from the graves they create. They took our pain, turned it into merch. Traded our tears for a corporate church. I ain't marched for a mansion or a purse. I marched for Mike, for Danye's rebirth. From the block to the booth, my truth don't fold. I died standing tall, my story told. Ain't no foundation built on gold that can buy back souls. The streets still hold. branded the struggle, trademarked the tears. Raised 90 million on our fears. Said they love the people, then disappeared. While the mothers wept and the truth got smeared. We the ones they framed in pain. While they took the stage in fame. You can't monetize the change when you never felt the strain. Mike Brown, Eric Garner, Sandra Bland. Every life we lost, they don't understand. Diane Jones, they left you hanging, man. While the headlines faded, the streets still stand. I ain't here for a brand or applause. I'm the echo of a cause. I'm the ghost that never paused. Still fighting unjust laws. Hands up, don't shoot. Say it loud, yeah, absolute. He's a flame, the fire don't die, it moves. Hands up, don't shoot. Truth bleed, war to the loot. Fire don't die, it moves. From Nipsey and Crenshaw to Pac in the pen. From Ferguson streets to the pain within. They try to silence us again and again. But every martyr reborn when we pick up the pen. You can kill the flesh but not the flame. You can steal the name but not the aim. The hustle eternal, the spirit the same. Revolution ain't a moment, it's the game. I walk with ghosts of the fallen brave. With mothers who refuse the grave. You can burn a car, can't burn a wave. Every bullet shot bursts another save. I seen love buried under lies, but hope still staring my people's eyes. We ain't slaves to hashtags or ties. We the storm they can't disguise. So let the system know we ain't fools. We the movement they can't rule. From the hood to the pulpit, truth is fuel. We the lesson they never taught in school. This for every brother denied goodbye. Every sister left asking why. For the ones who march, for the ones who cry. The fire don't die, we multiply. Hands up, don't shoot. Justice, we still here, salute. Freedom, they absolute. We the proof don't die, it moves. Hands up, the fire don't die, it moves.
This is wait a minute, hold on. This is what his brother Byron said. I wanted to read this real quick. Where is it at? Where is it at? He needs prayer. Come on. All I want to do is read his brother's text. Oh my.
We still here, salute. Freedom, they absolute. We the proof don't die, it moves. Hands up, the fire don't die, it moves.
So his little brother is Byron Seals. He wrote this July the 5th, 2023. He says, I be feeling like God should have took me out instead of my brother. Be feeling so effed up and alone in this shit world. Wasn't no point of taking him when he was already doing something big. Ain't really no point of me even being here for real. Darren Seals, Darren King D. Seals. Nah, I'm not good. Don't nobody give a F anyways. That was July the 5th, 2023. And then on August the 27th of this year, and I did reach out to him because y'all know me, I would assist. He made a public announcement, but of course I didn't know about this. I didn't know, I'm just now finding out really who Darren Seals is. But he had a storage unit in public storage in Florissant. He said I had 2 put down on. They just currently sold it through storage auction. I had a lot of my brother's pictures. I'm trying to get it back. I'm having a hard time getting it. I'll pay to get it back. It's nothing everything else can keep. I need to start over anyways. But any personal items of my brother's, I need back ASAP. Anybody can help and reach out. I appreciate it. I wish that I had seen that status, because I'd have been like, son, how much? Let me send it to you right now. But I did leave a message. I just haven't heard nothing back. I'm gonna check on it again tomorrow when I get to Florida. I appreciate you guys rocking with me tonight. Here's the car door up close. Look at this whole car door at the scene. The whole door, the whole Jeep door laying at the scene. Here are the shell casings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he got 5 of them. It looks like these are fragments at the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Either they had a silencer, they may have had a silencer, but the theory is he was unalived at a different location.
That isn't even an officer picking up that, you know.
These are pedestrians. Look.
I'm serious.
People that's, yeah. What police officer, what? Police.
Where's the yellow tape?
There is no yellow tape. Well, it looked like it was a little piece over there that they tore. I don't know if that's yellow tape or not, but it's yellow. But they didn't care about this man. Look at all this evidence. No. Why are you not shifting through the ashes? You know how, like when we watch those forensic shows, you'll see them going, with little shifters, dirt, going through dirt, trying to get bones. Why is all the fragments and stuff still out there?
Mm-hmm. Watch the investigation.
Look, here's another woman. Oh, you'll see somebody else. Hold on. Look, she got a casing on her key. She picked it up. Her picking it up with her key is, I guess, it's her way of trying to preserve it. But I bet you they didn't take it. They didn't care. If they cared, they'd have took it that day.
So much neglect.
Then it's another one. She's pointing it out. Yeah, with the key. Same thing they did to Tupac. Y'all remember that documentary we did on Pac where the investigator said they left because Suge drove away from the scene. They called Pac, and Suge at somewhere else, and nobody was there to secure the original crime scene. They didn't want to secure it. They wanted the evidence to be destroyed. The same scenario.
Hey, Darren Seals, I got something to say. And bro, you know it's authentic. I made it up in the day.
So this is the last. I just randomly found this guy. This is just how much of an impact he had on their community. This guy just wrote a rap for him out the blue the same day, pouring out his heart.
All right.
I can't say that I was crying, but it's been heavy on my mind. Thought they was lying when they say somebody took you away. When you was riding in your Jeep, you ain't think that would happen. You trying to change your life and get away from the trapping. When they shot Mike Brown, you was there to protest. We who they killing, so we the ones that you trying to protect with your life. This ain't right, y'all. They taking 9 kings, never met Martin, but this somebody I actually seen and met and heard. My heart aching heavy, all the tears from St. Louis that can probably break a levee. I just don't understand. This man was a man who stood up for our rights, and y'all doing wrong as y'all can. They took 7 shots, survive that. Harassed by cops, survive that. Let's shoot him once in the knowledge and burn his Jeep. Let's try that. Yeah, it worked, but it didn't, cause his name got stronger. Yeah, he died at 29, but his legacy gon' live longer. And I ain't write these lyrics for no recognition, just show my people to them. For us it's either death or prison. I won't listen, my future bright, I don't know what it holds. And cherish every time somebody say I'm getting old. And your family gon' be scarred from the loss of you. Probably cry, rewind and smile from the thought of you. Because they knew just what you stood for, knew what you was good for. Activists and helping people, coming from a hood boy. We all can relate to that, and y'all know I'm stating facts. Your girl say you leaving, boo, just praying that you make it back. Damn, this city lost a king, for real. And we can't not do a thing, for real. These cops is crooked as they seem. Darren Seals, you gave your life up for our dream, let's get it.
Well, guys, thank you to the ones who stuck it out with us to the end. You are appreciated.
Yes, thank you.
I'm not gonna make this public because the YouTube has messed it up so much that I got to go re-edit it and probably clip it up and repost it. But thank you guys. This is only part one. We got so much to cover with this case, and then we got to go back to Danye Jones, and of course, I'm still waiting on the. We're still working on the Hip Hop is a Graveyard as well. We have not forgotten about that, so just waiting on the video. I love you guys. Thanks for coming, Othello. Thanks, Pat. She had to go. Patricia Belair and everybody who was here. Margie who was here. Everybody. And it's some people in the bushes. Maya, thank you for coming. Everybody in the bushes, thank you for coming. We appreciate you too. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. This is only the beginning. It's heavy. It's heavy. And thank you for Tim for being on the panel with me. Y'all pray for Jay Mizak. Pray for him. He's going through some hard times. So just pray for y'all brother. All right, guys. I love y'all. And without further ado, we are out of here. I'll be traveling to Florida in the morning. So I'll probably won't do a live this week because thank you. I won't be able to be working on videos like that because I have to leave my gaming video. The good computer here is too big, and I have my laptop, and that y'all remember how the laptop was. No, we're not going to go back to the struggle. So I'm gonna miss y'all this week, but hopefully maybe Jay would come through with the with the heavy D video, and we can jump on live. All right, I love y'all. Peace. And we are out of here.
Good night, everyone.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for coming. Please like, share, and subscribe. Come back again.